real quick, double check the steering wheel.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Nice and smooth. Get it all done all day long. Got a good feeling for today, guys.
Donnie Kite's gonna get through it all and score his first career win in the Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series. What a finish!
Too little, too late from behind, and Sebastian Marin, your first repeat top split winner of the qualifying series.
We knew it was just a matter of time. Hunter Sr. is victorious.
Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa.
GC Spider Motorsports takes home the 1-2-3 finish.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
World Center of Racing. It provides a thriller, to say the very least, not just for the type of racing it provides, but also because for years now, it's been the cutoff, whether it's been a playoff format or now a chase format for multiple different series, including in NASCAR and in iRacing. And tonight, it's the Mystic Racing League's turn to find out who's going to make its own chase as the Slim Chickens Cup Series gets ready for a cutoff race. Tonight is the KT300 at Daytona to determine which drivers are in the 16-car grid for the chase and who's out. Welcome to VSPEED's coverage tonight. I'm Justin Prince. Alongside the booth for tonight is Morgan Cook, who's also our producer. We're getting set for what will be an intriguing night from start to finish, because with this race going to be the length it is, already 300 miles, Morgan, you're going to have to be able to stay out of trouble if you're a part of those close to the line at a track like Daytona, known for its wrecks.
Yeah, the pack racing here provides a different style than we see everywhere else. You can't get spread apart here. You're going to have to be on top of each other all night long, and of course, one driver's mistakes will lead to catastrophe in the big one. You mentioned the points. Let's look at them right now. Reggie Kime currently sitting as the last driver in. Charles Robertson is here tonight, only 6 out, and the winner at Daytona earlier this year. Anthony Marino Jr. on the outside looking in. I believe Ashton Crowder has given up his spot as well in 14th, so there are some movers and shakers to be had in this this final cutoff race at Daytona, but it's going to be a fun one tonight, JP.
It will be. And some of the drivers, going to be some interesting storylines with them attached, because remember, there were so many different drivers that were in the conversation in regards to would they be here, would they be out. Charles Robertson is one of those who is a part of those on property, but those not on property include Ashton Crowder, which could potentially put him out. There are some rumors that Anthony Marino Jr. may get his spot. That going instead to Ryzan Baker here this evening is the conversation point, because he's the one driving the 44 car. In other words, there could be a lot of movers and shakers here at this cut line, and there's a ton of pressure, I think, if you're Reggie Keimer, Zach White. You cannot afford to just ride at the back and hope you're getting in the top 10 at the end of the race with the chaos.
Yeah, you're going to have to be up on the wheel here tonight. And, of course, we wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't mention this was the final race of the regular season, very bottom of the middle column at Daytona. On to Watkins Glen next week, and to start the chase, the 10-race mini-season, if you will, to determine a champion in the Slim Chickens Cup Series.
And it's an interesting slate of races, because it's not just simple as saying, okay, let's take the Cup schedule and drive. No, you have a unique schedule with some road courses, some super speedways in the mix, a couple legacy tracks like Atlanta and California with Fontana. You have some of the traditional now closing races a part of that schedule. You have a good solid mix, and keep in mind you have Darlington in that conversation too. You have to be able to conquer multiple different types of tracks. It's a good schedule that tests you to the very end.
Yeah, it sure does. It's going to be the driver who wins the championship this year is going to be one who really can perform at every type of racetrack, because you do have every type of racetrack in that chase.
But with that being said, qualifying already taking place here this evening. After plenty of hype coming into tonight, the pressure is on to see which drivers are going to come on top. Ryzan Baker coming up on the pole tonight in the 44 car, with Dylan Brumley in the 2 car. Alongside him, John Ullman looking to avoid a heartbreak like last night. Marino Jr. ended up driving the 48 car, it looks like. He'll be driving that Chevy from the 4th position. Running at the top 5 is Gavin Hinson this evening. He was the first, in fact, tied for the 3rd of those in the 50.4s with Isaac Wilson inside the top 6. A new driver, this is Andrew McGarrigle, should say, who is going to jump into this field alongside Sakata, who will drive the 01 machine here tonight. Then it's Colin Kinzer and Justin Nanke again. Some drivers making some starts late in the season.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Andrew Schob returns. He will start 11th in the 19 with Reggie Keim. Almost won last night. See if he can repeat that here this evening from 12th. 13th for Adam Holston in the 12. Zach Roethlisberger will start 14th. 15th for Michael Wade in the 5. 16th for Clayton Good. 17th for Christian Barnes, with Tim Carpenter starting outside of row number 9. Your top 20, Michael Daly and Stephen Gill.
21st goes to Dylan Calkins here this evening. That will see him next to Alex Young in the 7 car tonight. Dustin Lewis will start down the order in 23rd in the 8 machine. David Moyer will start from pit road, eventually qualified 24th. Elijah Maupin's in the field tonight along with Joshua Gillen. They're towards the rear of the order. Brad Collier going to be also a part of this pack. That 28 machine is next to the 17 for the first time in months behind the wheel of that machine in 28th position. Then rounding up the top 30 in the qualifiers who took times, Aaron Underhill, Chris Taylor.
31st, we Wesley Burke, and the 23, Jacob Cochran, starting in 32nd. 33rd for Fiffner. 35th for Gasheri, missing 34th somewhere. 36th for Miller. I don't know where 34th place went, but regardless, that is your starting grid here today.
Well, that would be Justin Miller, actually, because he is not in the session. He was
That'll do
originally supposed to be one of those cars, and he is the only one not in. Zachary Kingsman also just now jumping into the session with technical issues. So as that sets things up, keys to victory, stages 25 and 65.
Yeah, stage 1 on fuel shouldn't be an issue, especially if you get a caution. Should be all right. Stage 2, though, you will need to make a green flag stop, or a stop, I should say, somewhere to get to the end of the stage on the fuel tank. Pit road speed 55 miles an hour. Pretty easy to get onto pit road here. You might have some drivers speed if they push it too hard. Yeah, it's a pack race. Strategy probably comes into play somewhere. But stay out of trouble. If you can't finish the race with no fast repairs, then you're not going to win. It's as simple as that.
Happy with us for tonight's coverage here of the Mystic Racing League. The green is out. We're underway from Daytona. Oh, that's a hardy cut by Baker. That was a chop block almost on Ullman.
Yeah, that was a certainly a move. Also, quick note, timing and scoring showing Zachary King as the leader. He is on pit road and is not the leader, something internally incorrect. So Baker, well, now Ullman would be your leader. There it is. Now it flipped over. What a first lap, though, from Ullman. Avoided that near calamity on the back trip to 44 to lead lap number 1.
Yeah, that could have been disaster for the 44 machine tonight. But that being said, the traits that we're going to keep an eye on for the Castle Glass Company Series race, I think, here tonight, Morgan, is simple. Can you find your way to the front? Not too many were able to be pipers and cut through the pack, if you will.
It was hard to pass last night, for sure, and I expect it will be similar this evening, be hard to pass, and that we'll have drivers kind of be staked out at the front and will not give up that trap position lightly as we see the front fours try to break away from the rest of the group. Doing a decent job of it. The 75 of Nanke, the last one to really have touch with the leader. Oh, the 2 bails out a little bit, and that's going to give Reggie time. And Clayton Good, a little bit of reprieve up on the high side.
Yeah, but all sorts of different drivers bobbing around the lines here. You can go 3 wide with the package, but as we know, side draft's pretty significant. You're doing the right thing on that inside, though. Look at Nanke, Marino Jr., and Baker. Some triple card tandeming, not as flush as you expect it, but that's one of the common places with the way this car works where you can push in the corners.
Yeah, and you can push the pusher in the corners as well. It's quite a stable car on this type of racetrack. It allows you to be uber aggressive when it comes to moves being made. Last night, being in that race, there's a few drivers you could push in the corners and not get them spun around, but they were few and far between. And you definitely could not even think about getting on that second car if you were the third car in line, or you would wreck a bunch of cars. We saw that all night last night.
Looks
Bopping,
like
dropping down. Yeah.
I think we both have the same thought. Zachary King never left pit road, by the way, so he looks like able to try and keep things going here. We did have at least 4 start from pit road, though, that have all found each other, that are not in this pack. Roethlisberger, Moyer, Gill, Takata all started at the tail. And the interesting thing is going to be, how quickly are they going to get lapped? It's not like last night. It was only half a second difference between the front of the field and those laps down. There's a 4-second difference if you're not.
Yeah, it's not looking particularly ideal for those 4 that have dropped off the group. They're going to need a lot of help if they're going to get caught back up here. They'll need a caution, essentially, or hope that they can sustain the fall off, although they're already half a lap down. They're already 25 seconds behind the leader, and we're only on lap 5. So I would venture to guess probably by lap 10 or 11, they're going to get swallowed up by this group.
And going to have to do it pretty swiftly in terms of decision making, because obviously, as they go for the race lead.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Marino Jr. tried to pass the 44, and around goes the field.
Wow.
We're under caution.
And remember, no fast repairs tonight. So the damage you get here, you got to fix it on pit road. Oh man, that's a lot of cars.
And that just started quite simply. Marino Jr. tried to start the outside, and then
he got hit by the 75 behind him and just turned him right into the 44's quarter panel. Yeah, that's a lot of calamity. See it from the back bumper. This is from the 44's point of view.
Gonna say, don't think it moved that time.
Yeah,
the
you saw the bump there from the 75, just turned the 48 sideways, and all of a sudden you've got a bunch of cars involved. Chris Taylor, Marino Jr., Hinson, and Clayton Good all with the meatball flags. They will have to really find their way back. I'm not sure if they will get them fixed to be competitive in this race again. Certainly not what you're looking for so early in this one.
And it puts us under the caution flag with Marino Jr., Hinson, Good, all on the tow truck.
Well, we were just talking about it, the drivers, that this really helps. Roethlisberger, Moyer, Sakata, Gill. The ones who are at the back of the field, they are now grouped up with the pack. They're no longer, 25 seconds behind the leader, half a lap down. So good news for them, bad news for the four, obviously, who have their races, if not destroyed, significantly altered. And all the other drivers involved with damage are going to have to get those things fixed.
And it's all part of the pure calamity that comes up at a track like this. And now, as you would expect, most of the field, it looks like may stay out here. We do have Nanki, who's got damage, going to have to come in, as well as some others that will peel on down. And now it gets interesting on how things go in the first stage or so, because some of these drivers are going to be getting repairs for the next 2 to 3 caution flags based on what we've seen last night.
And if the cautions come fast and furious like they did last race in the Caswell Glass Series, you are able to get a lot of damage repaired per caution. It's something like 1.5 to 2 minutes worth of damage fixed per caution lap, which is helpful, to say the least, if you can get it back to pit road. The towing takes so long here because of how big the racetrack is that you can lose a lap rather easily just by towing. So you have to be able to get a car that drives, but you can get it fixed. If you get, 5 or 6 cautions, you could be back in the race. I mean, Michael Wade last night had something like 6 minutes of damage and was able to be a pusher and had a shot at winning it on the final lap, final laps, I should say, just because of how many cautions or how long you could get that car fixed for.
Exactly. It's going to be all part of a critical stage early on in this one where if you want to get the job done, you've got to find a way to stay out of trouble and better yet stay ahead of the wrecks. And that's easier said than done, obviously.
It is.
Because you can find a way to get in a wreck as the leader. There's been ways.
We just saw it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Saw it.
So now what's kind of your approach if you're some of these drivers? Would you prefer to take the risk of not getting stage points to just ride and be able to have checkup time if there's an error incident? Or do you prefer to still risk it up top or up front?
For me, my philosophy was always, I don't expect to get points here. My goal is always just to finish the race when I come to Daytona, Talladega, and really Echo Park for that matter as well. If I can just finish the race, it's going to be a good day. So my goal as a driver was always, for the first stage, just ride on the bottom of the racetrack. No matter how many drivers pass you on the top side, ride on the bottom, feel it out, figure it out. And that way, if there's a crash in front of you, you can bail to the bottom on the apron and usually get around it with pretty unscathed. That worked for me last night. And then later in the race, when you need to start getting up to the front, explore the top side, find some people who are still in the race because some have probably wrecked out by then, and just be smart with your moves. You don't have a fallback. There's no mulligan. There's no fast repair. You have to keep the car in one piece and just understand situation and put yourself in the best spot to succeed. And I know it's all quite high level and not very detailed, but really it's a case-by-case basis, and you have to be on the fly figuring this out as the driver.
You got to be decisive, and as you've seen with the shoes, Ullman is once those choosing to stay to the bottom here. Look who's in second here. This is a newcomer here. That's the 81 we haven't seen I don't think too much of that number this season. That's Tim Carpenter making a run. That is one of the Graham Crackers cars. That's usually the camp where you see some of the drivers like Beckett Brown run the schemes from outside the series.
Marino Jr. as well, one of those drivers.
So obviously, does that help you out? Bring some friends to say, why not make your MRL debut? Give it a try.
that's definitely brings people over here, and that's a great point of getting more people into a league or a series. Is when you have friends who all race for the same team in the open races in A Open, you're able to attract that talent. They all follow each other. So good opportunity here at Daytona. Not a high learning curve to drive the racetrack per se, and it's just about the draft, and these guys work quite extensively together on drafting tracks. So good opportunity to bring Carpenter in and see if they can make some magic happen. But we'll see. It's early in the race, still working lap 10, or about to work lap 10. First caution under our belt. We're about to get going here, JP.
Here we go. Pace car is off. Let's find out how this one goes. To the restart zone. Green already out. And Ullman says bye to everybody.
Yeah, outside lane did not go.
I think that's a wrong gear, possibly.
I think so. I think he might have been the third. Somebody bailing. Is that Wesley Burke, I think? Just bailed out of line.
Yeah, just backed out as a couple drivers still were down pit road getting repairs done. Now it's Andrew Schob in the 19 car tonight. That's another different number for a scheme we've seen a lot of, at least this season. But Schob looking to try and help out some other drivers here. While Robertson, he was good earlier this year here. He's back to the front at Daytona.
Some would say he was the best earlier this year here, getting the win in that 17. It looked, I believe, just like that. I don't think he ran a different scheme than that DeWalt Kenseth throwback, but he dominated this race in February, trying to do the same thing here, and he will... Yeah, I don't think he led that lap. I think Ullman got him that time, but...
Actually, Robertson did lead.
He did? Well, there you go. That's one more point in his bucket. Remember, he's 6 behind the cut line, Robertson is. He has to have a good day here to get into the chase.
He does, and right now, he's taking the time to just ride and abide his time. Now with the help of Tim Carpenter. Dylan Calkins didn't have the greatest of runs last night, luck-wise. He's now also up here. Then there's that 79 that's running the Kyle Busch scheme. Obviously not the usual number you expect from him on the car, but it's a tribute here this evening for Jonathan.
Yeah, Johnny G in the number 79, as you mentioned, running 7th right now. Hard to miss that mishmash of Kyle Busch schemes.
Exactly here. And right now, just like that, he blinks out.
Unless he disappears, that doesn't help.
Yeah, that's not good for your pack, and that's why I think we see Maupin say, nope, bye-bye.
Not the first time Maupin's bailed. And last time he bailed, they crashed less than a lap later, so you might see something in the pack that we don't see, and he's in trouble here, though. You can't enter quite that low. He's going to lose the draft. Might be on purpose, actually.
Regardless here, Wesley Burke just had the tow for some reason. He's gone.
Oh, no.
So Burke is towards the front before. He was that car on the apron, actually.
That's right.
Here's the reason. He had slowed down, tried to go down the road course, spun it out, then towed the car.
Oh. Oh, my goodness. Kasheri with the blink earlier, he just tried a super aggressive move, and it just about wrecked a ton of cars. Really got to be careful at this point in time, and like I say a lot in these races, if you watch a lot of VSPEED broadcasts, you'll hear me say this always when it comes to these kind of races. If you're going to make a move, as there's contact with the 14 and the 05, you're going to make a move, good or bad, fine, but be decisive about it. You can't be lazy. You can't do a slow drive from the top to the bottom. It's got to be quick. It's got to be decisive, or you're going to wreck a lot of cars.
That I agree with, absolutely. The way things get wild. Are getting extremely wild. Here's Stephen Gill. He's taking his moves here to get up to the front of the 88 for the number 5 on the car tonight.
Yeah, leading the outside lane. He was one of those drivers who was out of the pack entirely, one of that foursome earlier. Now he's up in the top 10. This guy can get it done at super speedways, so watch him to make some noise here tonight.
I think there's a possibility here if he does the job right. You know who he's got help with? The driver who was at the back of the order. Roethlisberger's now in the opportunities here.
Yeah, they're sticking together. I think they like what they saw when they were in that group of 4 together earlier. They're like, hey, we can work together. We can make some magic happen. Now here they are ripping the top side and making progress doing it.
Taking as much as they can, if you will, to try and get themselves forward. And that's kind of the expectation here with some of the drivers, is finding a way to work as one, test out pairings, see where the speed comes. After all, we're coming up to 10 laps to go. It's a short burst here in the opening stage in this event, so why not? Big differences over this run. You'll also see a few drivers potentially say, I don't want the stage points, I'm here part-time. Kinzer dropped from the top 10 back to the 20s out of the pack. And then you have drivers like Zachary King, we're just racing now to try and get laps back. He's 2 laps down.
Yeah, Wade in the 05 part of this as well. Cochran's back there. Can't do who the last car in line is. Oh, it's Daly, the last car in line in this group. They're all just slightly damaged cars, just trying to survive. There's 3 wide for the first time today.
Yeah, you'd see a couple drivers testing up the outside. Will that work out for a couple of those competitors is the question, because as you can see, that didn't.
No.
Immediately the 14 said, I don't like this. I'm going back to the bottom, to the middle rather.
Yeah, McGarrigle, he had an opportunity up there and saw a hole and dove immediately down to the bottom. Wilson now tries to stick it to the high side around Kime. He's going to fall back and pay for that move.
A few of these drivers still playing around here with less than 10 to go in the stage. Isaac Wilson dropping down the order in the SDM machine. So, keep in mind, the first of those who took any service is still Roethlisberger. Came down for the top off, might have a shorter pit stop at the end of stage 1, or possibly some strategy windows there. Meanwhile, Gill is now alongside the edge of the quarter panel, maybe for second, almost got there. And what I just noticed has almost taped on look of a 43 with the bowling ball look.
Yeah, his schemes usually range somewhere from hard to look at to humorously cartoonish. Usually is how those Stevens, Gill, and Steyr paint schemes go. And I like the base of that car, that teal kind of multicolored look. Nice to look at. Nice to look at.
Indeed it is. And it really takes, when you think about it, a lot of precision to get worked out right to make these moves today. And right now we're just seeing how well the bottom of the racetrack seems to be the best of the line so far. A few of the drivers catching up to lap cars here. It feels as though this top line, this is similar to that conversation I think from earlier in the year, with some of the early coverages I think we've both worked on. It takes a lot more effort to just get that outside line to even work.
Yeah, and the culprit of why it's not going anywhere is the 9 car. Look at the gap between the 9 and the 29 versus the gap between Ullman and Carpenter. Right, Ullman and Carpenter, half a car length at the most, as we are snaking through Collier, obviously being lapped down right now. The third car is where the run comes from. So that third car has to be right behind second to keep him in touch with the leader. If you're going to leave a big gap like what Kime's doing, there is no way the outside line is going to work. You have to be more aggressive out there, as we have an issue for Gill. You got to be more aggressive on the top than on the bottom because it's a longer way around.
Indeed you do. And we're seeing just the difficulty of this type of race here tonight on getting anything to really flow forward. And it's going to provide an interesting, different dynamic by the end of the night and the extra sense of urgency. Right now, coming up to 5 to 1 stage, let's take a listen on board Stone Brumley. He's right now one of those in the pack. We'll have to get some repairs done, likely down pit road with the left rear, but he's been running just on the edge of the points here.
So what it looks like being in the pack, nowhere to go.
And obviously, Your thought is, I just want to hold position, and those checkups right there are going to be the one thing that frustrates you is the outside thing gets the momentum to pass you on by.
Yeah, it is entirely on the bottom when you're running there about managing the checkups into the corners. It causes issues every single race here. I don't know what it is. It's just, for some reason, drivers can't seem to avoid checkups. And it always manifests itself 8, 10, 12 cars deep in line. We start running over people and getting nose damage and engine damage, and then you obviously can also punt somebody, wreck the race car, whatever the case is. That's where the melees start to happen. You can check up on a lot of them.
And it's providing a sense of a little bit of urgency, I guess you could say. Again, looks like we just received word that Johnny G doesn't have audio apparently. So that might not be good, to say the very least. The track that's going to require sound. Here comes 3 wide. Everyone, Reggie Kime shuffled.
Yeah, Kime just got kicked out of line. Wilson's going to try and give him a shot here. I don't think that's going to go very far forward. Nope, they continue to plummet through the order. Oh, the 2 just stuffed Kime in the wall. Goodness gracious.
Just a little bit of naughtiness, I guess you could say.
And that's a clinic on how you go from stage points to no stage points as a driver who needs them in about 1 corner.
And obviously, you can't just go on the radio and say, push, push, push.
Right, right.
I've said that a couple times, and that almost is, I've done that before. It actually makes you want to remember conversations back in the day of some drivers, they said in NASCAR they pushed less harder if they didn't want to push that driver.
Yeah, drivers have memories like elephants is what I think how the saying goes. And especially at these kind of races, I remember every move that happens around me. Aggressive, not aggressive, good, bad, I remember it. So that later in the race, if I need to rely on you, I know if I can or not. And if I can't rely on you, you're probably not going to work with me all that well. And a lot of drivers feel the same way, even maybe more so than I do. They'll try and find teammates and nobody else. I prefer just to work with whoever's available, but you have to at least have proved yourself at that point in the race to be willing to work with you.
It's confidence. And with this being the last lap of the stage, let's see if there's enough confidence in the outside line to get things going. Holston running the rare 12 machine. Roethlisberger again can't get the momentum.
Oh, Gill, 3
wide again.
I think that probably just sealed it for the inside line. There's not enough help in either of those lines to make 3 wide work. Now Holston stuck in the middle. Going to fall back rather quickly. Robertson continues to lead, and it looks like off of turn 4 as long as he can hold off the 81. As Gill's up in the wall. Oh my goodness.
Getting a little bit too darty for some, but Robertson keeps it calm at the front. White checker flank with the 17. Gets it done over Carpenter inside the top 2. Also in the top 10 of the line. Ullman, Schob, Zakata. You also had Roethlisberger, had Garrigle, Moyer, Calkins, and Underhill. A lot of part-timers up in the top 10, but a lot of those scoring owner's points for the cars.
Yeah, taking stage points away from drivers who need them in this case, and that might frustrate a few of the regulars. But we have a bit of something different here, JP. Gavin Hinson waiting for us in the waiting room. Let's have a chat with the driver of the 39, who I believe is out for the race. I think he's actually still repairing damage. Let's bring him in here.
Yes, indeed. So, as we're currently catching up to the pace car here, Gavin Hinson, do you have a copy?
Sure do.
Talk us through what happened with the incident from your perspective early in this one. You are still down pit road.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm just hanging out in the sim. I don't really know. You know, in the moment, I didn't really know what happened. I thought it was maybe a bad block, but that wasn't really the case. Just a bad push, honestly. It wasn't really much I could do to avoid it.
So obviously It's been a wild weekend here so far for the MRL. How would you describe the intensity of these races at this facility?
I mean, I think it's a little too aggressive. I mean, I was side drafting up there, just trying to get to the lead, control the race. But I mean, I don't think I was jeopardizing anybody. Just making moves like that's just a little unnecessary. But I mean, a bad push can happen with anybody out there. It could happen to the best of us. So um, it's pretty intense. I mean, you can tell there's a little bit of, you know, anticipation for the chase and people trying to, you know, make moves and gain points out of the 48s in that situation. So it really sucks. It's been a bad week at Daytona.
That being said, though, on the positive, in this series, you came in as a lock already for the chase. Your approach for the chase starting next week.
Well, I was hoping I could maintain my fourth place seed, or whatever you want to call it. I was hoping to maintain it. I don't know if that'll happen now, but it's going to be about putting races together. Clean races, not getting into any trouble, just, you know, consistent finishes. And we'll see if we can do that. It's been kind of hard this year. It's been up and down. And hopefully with a little more preparation, more practice, more, you know, fundamentally sound, maybe we can make a run for this championship.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Gavin Hinson sounding a little bit disappointed here, obviously, in this case, Morgan, but again, he's still in the top 5, potentially even with tonight.
Right.
In the point standings at minimum, if not top 10.
I mean, you never want to wreck out of a race. That's obvious in itself. It's just, yeah, and especially so early. I mean, never really got a chance to see this race unfold, see it develop, and he's going to find himself on the hauler, 34th right now, and he's now exited the session, so that's where he's going to finish here tonight. And I mean, the seeding matters, of course, but I think at the end of the day, it's like you said, just about putting those good finishes together, and that's what it's going to be about here. And we have one more that would like an interview too, Anthony Marino Jr., who I believe with this is going to miss the chase.
That's huge, actually, in his case, because as we, I think, await for him to get to the doorstep here, and I think it's going to be definitely having the chance. 20 laps down now, you're right. That's basically chase done here. Let's see if we can talk with him real quickly as they get ready for a restart pretty soon. Anthony Marino Jr., do you have a copy? I know there's a lot of conversation with the chase, whether you drive even for Asher Crowder here this week. Instead, you run for the 48 car. Get involved in the incident. Talk us through what happened from your perspective.
I was going high to stay, I don't know. I was wanting to have Ryzen stay in front of me, but I kind of got shoved out high, and then it's a bad push, but it's okay.
Well, the downside is right now, position-wise for the chase, this would mean, unless you're able to get it back out there and pass a bunch of cars, likely out of the chase positions. Talk about your emotions on that.
It stinks, but yeah, I'm too much damage. I'm done. I already exited out of the sim, but it stinks. But we'll just go into the chase, and only mindset will be just try to win the race, and I don't have to care about stages, none of that. Now I can just go try to get more wins and be prepared for next season.
So on that note, we're coming up to the restart as my phone decides to say, I like to have you a GPS right now. That being said, I'll let you get back to your team. Thanks for the time.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good night.
You as well.
Anthony Marino Jr. taking the time to speak with us. I apologize for the phone there because funny thing is, you never know when that GPS is going to go off on you. And some people are going to need to keep an eye on their GPSs for their pit stop strategy in Stage 2, Morgan.
Yeah, you'll have to pit one time to make it to the end of the stage. When does that pit stop happen? Remember, that pit window, 25 to 28 laps. This is a 35-lap run, so anywhere from 10 into the run to 10 to go in the run. Here we go.
Here we go. Back underway. Field zips its way on by, and we have some new leaders. Is the one up at the point. You have Robertsburg, you have Robertson up in the mix as well early on to start this run. Well, first one on the outside is Tim Carpenter this time, but the help of Dustin Lewis, who wants to channel his inner Dale.
And Lewis ran well last night as well in the 88. Didn't get the finish he wanted, of course. Caught up in an accident late in that race, but was top 10 for the vast majority of the day. I believe stage points in both stages as well. So the 8 knows how to be up at the front. Question will be, can he finish up here with a part-timer right behind him, David Moyer, trying to ride the Dente in the 47.
Yes, and sometimes that Dente can be vicious from what I hear. I mean, you can see, all right, he tried the triple car tandem, and he was not comfortable with that push to get the triple.
I mean, the nice thing is you don't have to. You can just run close to the back of the 8 car. And already they're making momentum on the top side versus the bottom. McGarrigle out of shape with pushes from Robertson. That's going to clear 3. Holston might make it 4 if he can get down. Yes, that's 4 for clearing. How about 5 with that one bobble on the backstretch? Oh, almost a spin.
That was a big cutoff there, and he's lucky because you see Garrigo just slammed on the brakes. That 14 nearly turned him.
Yeah, there was a lot of moving and shaking there for a moment. The 17 was out of shape on the bottom row, and now he's back to 10th. Trying to rebound through it. 29, great run to go to the top side.
Yeah, trying to do something, but as you can see, the caution flag is out. Still something happening in the order, and we can confirm it's in the corner. It's involving Aaron Underhill, who is a couple cars behind that 29 who had to run initially. He got turned around off the nose of the 79 in Sim. Yellow flag is out.
Oh yeah, checkup. And yeah, the 8 didn't see it. 21 did, and around goes Underhill.
Causes a caution.
Yeah, big hit, dude. That thing is worse for wear.
Is this the time you take it into fuel for fueling as a result now?
I mean, you're just not really close enough yet. It'll make your stop later shorter for sure if you don't mind giving it track position. If you don't have it, now would be a good time to pit, of course. But if you're up in the top 10, I probably wouldn't staying out here. You're just so far away from that stage happening that I just don't think you can right now.
It's a tough situation, obviously, but may see a couple try it. We'll see. Someone catch up to the pace car. We're already down to 26 on the lead lap right now with plenty of demolished race cars in this one. We started with 36. I think attrition a little bit higher than some people may have expected, even with 120 instead of 160 laps.
And I think it is the 120 instead of 160 is the reason why we see that, because you see full length race on the schedule, you go, oh, I need to take it easy and relax a long day. 120 is just an arbitrary number. It doesn't really mean anything other than it adds up to 300 miles. But I think that has a little psychological effect on drivers to make them really go like, oh, it's not a full length race. I have to go. And then they, have things like this happen where you lose 8 cars on lap 7.
And as a result, ball pace around. Dustin Lewis and David Moyer were the only cars actually to stay out here. So these drivers electing to say, I think we're going to have an air caution here before a pit stop.
Yeah, it's a bold strategy to do that, but I mean, you're going to need 2 cautions, I think, from here to be able to make it based on how much fuel you've got in the tank. Everyone else is probably 1 caution away. Yeah, I don't love the call to stay out here. I mean, getting stage points getting lap lead points is valuable, though I just don't see it, that 1 point here being terribly beneficial later.
Neither do I, but hey, some people just like extending fuel tank runs.
That's true.
And And that's part of the case we're seeing right here. 79 did get the cause of caution with an EOL as a result of the incident.
Right.
But everyone else now in the choo-choo train. We still have plenty of drivers getting repairs. 22, I would say, with clean cars. Isaac Wilson trying to get the one car. The Florida sweep last night in the Castle Glass Company Series is now scored as the last car on the lead lap, I believe. You're one of the last cars coming up here as a result.
Yeah, just took an extra long stop. 39 seconds in the box for whatever reason. Could have been damage repair, could have been, getting out of the car to getting out of the rig to, take a stretch or whatever the case is. There's many things that you can do during a pit stop here. I had a teammate last night who went to the washroom 3 separate times and didn't lose a lap any time. So it's possible.
I mean, that I agree with, absolutely. You just have to make sure you're very quick.
That's right.
And a lot of people choose the bottom here. That is almost the whole front of the field.
Yeah,
at least 6 on back shows the top.
Gotta get track position 101. Take the top when everyone chooses the bottom. That's interesting. I think Roethlisberger went from something like 8th to outside of row 1 here. My goodness.
It's a gamble, but hey, if it works, it works.
That's right. That's right. I'll give a mention to Joshua Gillen as well. Bit of a new look on the 10 this week. Joey Logano-esque, but it's all full of chrome. Of course, he's saying hello to us in the YouTube mailbag. Hello to you, good sir.
I mean, hey, he's had some wild moments in this week so far, to say the least. But I've noticed he has been trying to keep it pretty conservative for the first 90% of the race, then attack. It's again that philosophy of, do you want to be the leader or the follower, or the one wrapped in bubble wrap and with styrofoam to make sure your car is not, smashed on the way to the final few laps.
Right. No, I mean, you got to make it to the end, right? And then put yourself in a situation where you are eligible to win this race because your car isn't damaged, you're in a good enough spot to make yourself up there. And then all of a sudden it's about you as a driver making the right decisions in that situation to go put yourself in a position to win. But you got to get there first. You can't get there unless you survive stage 1, stage 2, and the pitting sequence of stage 3, so that you are good on fuel, you're good on tires, or you're in a position to win, or whatever the case is, and then you go and attack.
Pace car is off, by the way. So the green is out. The cars are roaring. We are looking at what is going to be now 30 laps to go in the stage, give or take here. So we're running to about 65. So, got to be tight on the gas. But hey, you can see the risk of the outside is already showing why so many people don't want to try it. It's already falling down to about the battle for the 5th spot.
And the outside requires 3 very good drivers to lead it, and it requires about a lap and a half to get going. And you probably have to jump the restart too, to be totally honest with you, to even have a shot on a late race restart to get up there. It's really just an opportunity to drop down in line like the 29 did and gain all that time but not use the line per se.
And all of that is to say you have to be so smart in this type of a run. And most of the field is quite simply saying, we're tight on fuel, I'm not pushing the issue. There is Adam Holston, who's probably thinking, can it please get in? Can it please get in? Can it please get in? No one's letting him in.
Like the dog at the back door. It's like, please let me in. Please let me in.
Yeah, that's the tough part. And this is where it's cutthroat, where if you're not in a fuel save, you see some of the difference too. Look at those on the outside line. They got a big boost and are now actually picking up speed. In fact, Ullman is amongst those picking up speed too, because they do not want to save as much as the bottom of the field wants to save.
Yeah, I mean, everyone is going to have to pit one more time, from what I can understand, to get to the end of the stage. I don't think anyone can make it from here.
Yeah,
So it's about track position right now, just trying to get it and keep it if that caution comes out, or if you make a green flag stop, you want to be as far up in front of the field as you can be, minimize the time loss.
I was going to say, you know what? I can tell you with some of the scoring that allows you to keep track of estimated fuel numbers, if they are not saving, there are 23 laps to go on the mark for fuel. You know, that's not going to add up to, you know, the total we're going to have coming up here.
Okay, sure.
Exactly. It's pretty tight. So we're going to have to see how much this fuel wants to back off. That inside line's running only, it's not even running full saw and then some. It's under 190.
And the outside lane is showing that they are running full song right now because they've caught up alongside second place.
See some of that working for Kinzer. Takes the 20 up to the top spot. And just like that, their efforts of not saving coming into play. Lights are about to turn on in the next few minutes, by the way. Kinzer was one of those who went to the back, dropped out of the stage points, tried to stay out of the battle for the points. Now doesn't mind being a leader. Takes the opportunity as he can, if you will.
This is the first time I think the outside's made a pass for the lead, if I'm not mistaken, JP.
Well, the last major attempt caused a crash.
Oh, there goes Ullman.
Well, that was not clear, and we're under caution. Here we go again.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Did that look the way I think it looked, Morgan?
Sure did. Sure did. Ay, ay, ay.
Yes.
So I guess this is why we don't use the outside lane.
And this is why you, on top of spotters, keep an eye on that mirror.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, not close at all to being clear. Kime's in it. 05 piles in. Moyer's got a meatball flag. He's done for the day. Nanke's done for the day. Ullman, of course. Let's see it from the 8, because he had the best, or not the 8, the, it is the 8. In fact, he had the best view of this.
Let's see. He's just minding his own business, and then
There's nothing that he's going to be able to do to avoid that. It's happening in his lap. He's just along for the ride at that point in time. No damage on the 8. Yeah, simply just not clear for the 34.
100%. See this one more time.
Yeah, Moyer at 75 took some pretty hard hits there. I want to see it from the 05 because he sailed in there real fast at the end of this. Watching that red car, the last red car on the top side. Watch him get engulfed by the 34. Oh, he got help from Collier. That's why he hit it so hard.
That causes slam yet again.
Damage minimal on the 05 somehow for being underneath that car.
And yet again, cautions, precautions, if you will. And it puts us back to the yellow yet again early on in this one.
Yeah, wild. I mean, you hate to see it when somebody is just so, like, not clear. And they try and clear themselves, and it happens in the front of the field, and you end up with, you know, 3 cars out of the race and another, you know, 6, 8, 10 cars heavily damaged from it. It's frustrating because, I mean, look, this is all the cars we have left, folks. There's not that many that aren't damaged. Started with 36. We got like 18 left that don't have damage on them.
There's a lot of dust down there.
Yeah, it's, well, usually run down there. Usually. Sometimes.
If you're running down there might be an issue.
Yeah, I found my way down there last night at the end of that race on Green Flag TV. It was dirty down there for sure. I heard the rocks spitting off the tires as I was sliding to the inside wall on the white flag lap.
Yeah, it got ugly pretty quickly at the end. And obviously, there was the potential of do you squeeze a driver by accident, the old line, stuff like that. But
Right.
obviously, they ended up, at that time, keeping the top 3 as deemed official after a quick review from race control. So, that being said here, how do you make sure you don't have a Morgan Cook spinning down the inside moment?
Yeah, this is going to be probably contrarian to what we've said most of the race is, teammates and working with people. I've always found on these races, for me personally, working with other drivers is the fastest way for me to ruin my day. And I was committed to working with the 16 last night. We were in the same voice chat. He's pushed me decently on the previous restarts, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna stick with him, watch in my mirror, make sure that we're in sync. And he got hit with the contact on the outside, and it shuffled him, and it kind of razzed him a little bit and frazzled him a little bit, and he tried to come up. We both thought that I was clear to come down. I got hooked and obviously spun off his nose. So my short answer is don't work with people. My long answer is just I could have went to the middle, given him more room. It was a bit of an aggressive move on my part to go down like that, and it spun me out, and I paid the price for it. So it is what it is. But for other drivers to avoid it, make sure you're clear. That's obviously just caused a big accident, wrecked a bunch of cars, and wrecked me last night. Just, you got to make sure you're clear, or else it's going to be a bad time for you.
I know there was some potentially saying, hey, it'd be good to see you in victory lane, but now you're in the broadcast booth. There's the consolation. But in all seriousness, we're coming up to 23 cars left on the lead lap with the caution periods. Ullman amongst those with the penalty box. Kinzer versus Gill on the front row. And this, for those who just topped off, definitely, I think, going to be safer on gas. Some of the air drivers looking a little bit better on mileage by now 26 laps or so is the estimate seeing.
Yeah, if you
now
pit
with
here,
this caution.
you should be good to the end.
So, yeah, absolutely. This is the caution.
Stage, not the race.
Exactly. Green is already out. And again, the outside is gone. Looks like the 20 does want to move down, but everybody else needs to figure out a way to connect here.
I think Steven in the 43 there, I think he had his blanket and his pillow and had a little nappy poo on the restart there, because that thing did not go. He was way late to it.
And that's causing a bit more of a check-up effect.
Where did Zachary King come from? He's third.
Well, that's a way to come back from tech issues, isn't it?
How about it?
Had some issues, and now he's back.
Oh, looking for the lead. They might be able to clear. Yeah, I think they can both clear down to the bottom if they choose. King says, no, I'll take the high side, potentially lead the lane. Oh, almost side drafted him. Almost got in his door. Oh, they're wrecking behind him.
Hold on, here we go.
How? They saved that? They did save that.
Schultz saved it, but had to use Cherry amongst those to lean as a balancing board.
Wow.
Alex Young is still slow on the track. We stay green.
I think that's a really good representation of how a move at the front of the field impacts the back of the field. The aggressive side draft from King kind of shook up the inside lane, and then they crashed 8-10 cars back.
And with that, pack is broken up to just 14 in the main group yet again. King versus Brumley at the front of it. Would you believe a majority of your front runners are part-time racers in the point standings at the very least?
It
seems as, yeah, it's one of those races where it's similar to that of last year with the Crown Jewels, where with the Sunday races we've seen part-timers come away with majority of those crown jewels. And now that with a super speedway, it brings out a whole bunch of new players who say, I like to floor it.
Super speedways and road courses have that same sort of effect. It brings out ringers. And a lot of these drivers, I think, would consider themselves to be super speedway ringers and quite good at these style races. That's why you're seeing them all up at the front as well, is because they all know what they're doing and they all practice this quite a bit to be able to be competitive.
Indeed, and it's another one of those types of races where you have to just choose where you want to run. And one of the drivers, mind you, that you have to wonder is going to be King. He was one of those in the lock zone, and he's one of those looking potentially, can he get at least the top 10 in the points? He's had only 3 top 5s, but he has got himself at the very least a pole this season.
Brumley! Wrecked in front
Here
of the
we
field.
go.
There it is.
And the pack
Oh my
implodes.
goodness.
Lewis on top of cars. We're back under caution.
Yeah, that's not the fast way. Oh my goodness.
Oh my word.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know what to say on that, on Dylan Calkins.
Might have to just go to commercial after that one. Shut it down. Race is over. We've seen it all, ladies and gentlemen.
We're not out of cars yet.
Oh my goodness. Let's go a little further back here. I don't know what caused the 2 to get sideways, if it was a push from the 81, if he clipped the apron, whatever the case is. Round he went.
See this again. And this is part of the lineup of...
Oh, he got a touch in the middle of the corner. And then he just couldn't quite save it, back in front of traffic, and boom! 8 gets wedged up under, and... Yeah, I don't know what happened to... He hit the brakes and then just couldn't avoid it. And then Gil started rolling and rolled into traffic. And then hit into traffic again. It weighed twice.
I was just going to say, yeah, you can push in the corner, but to a point is the part we kind of alluded to.
It's the exit of the corner where it flattens out. That's where you have trouble. But Lewis, meatball flag, Calkins, meatball flag, those 2 likely done for the day. And this 2 car has some pretty heavy nose damage as well after hitting the outside wall with some bravado.
And this will bring some more people down pit road, including Carpenter, Gillen, and Kinzer. We still have what's going to...
Real quick, you both stop real quick. Double check the steering wheel.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Nice and smooth. Let's get it all done all day long. Got a good feeling about today, guys.
Donnie Kite's going to get through it all and score his first career win in the Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series. What a finish! Too little, too late from behind. And Sebastian Marin, your first repeat top split winner of the qualifying series.
We knew it was just a matter of time. Hunter Sr. is victorious.
Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa.
Juicy Spider Motorsports takes home the 1, 2, 3 finish.
Welcome back to VSPEED for tonight's coverage. Tim Carpenter amongst those who just picked up a penalty here under this caution. Alongside Morgan Cook, I'm Justin Prince. Getting all set for the choose once again. And we are running out of race cars. We're not even to the end of stage 2, and we are down to what is near less than half the field left with clean race cars.
I think we're up 15 now is the count of drivers without major damage. After starting 36, only 50 laps to go.
It feels like one of those types of nights, but hey, On the bright side, you get to go to Watkins Glen, where it can be even more difficult next week.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too upset about going to a road course at Watkins Glen. I mean, it's a fun racetrack. Bunch of right-hand corners, essentially, and a bus stop. Pretty much makes up the racetrack description. And fun place to race, though. Fast, flowing. What more could you ask for?
Exactly. It's going to be a little bit interesting, of course, with it being the Glen. But I'd argue it's the easiest of the road courses on the schedule. The Roval is going to be a journey for some because they aren't even racing that in real world this year because no playoffs, apparently, is the reason.
I don't mind the Roval also. I've had success there as a road course driver, but certainly no hot shoe behind the wheel in anything. I get behind the wheel to get punched down, drop the ego a little bit, and so that I can come back in the booth and reinflate it, working with people like the great Justin Prince. We're here trying to get this thing back underway. But I've seen car crushers be easier on race cars than this here tonight at Daytona. Oh, a little contact up at the front.
Yep.
What is going on?
Yep, so here we go. Getting set for the restart. 15 to go in the stage. Zachary Kane looking to pick up more stage points. Alongside him, Adam Holston. As the green flag waves, we're back underway.
Holston almost jumped the start. Had to lift a little bit, and that stacked up the inside line just a touch. 15 to go to the end of stage number 2.
See how they're all lined up at the top of the racetrack. A couple drivers searching around to find out the best partners. Did we mention we haven't mentioned Christian Barnes' name all night so far? That's how quiet his WFR car's been. He's in the top 3.
Or Jacob Cochran, who was involved in that first accident on lap number 7. He is up here in the top 5 as well. Going to try and lead the inside. Lead the race potentially. My goodness. What a move.
Look at that. A little bit of a shiny 88 machine here tonight. Nearly went to the point.
Might get it here with a push from Holston. Gonna hook up on the bottom of the racetrack. Want to mention a big hello to everyone in the YouTube chat. If you have anything for us, do let us know. Who do you think is going to get stage 2? What do you expect the rest of the way?
We'll find out pretty soon who gets that green-white checker flag here as we're coming up to start lap 53 next time by. A little bit of 3 wide popping up here. That includes Joshua Gillen cutting his way on forward. Everyone else trying to gain the momentum. Look at how much the bottom gets steam-wise, and that's the way to push in the bottom. You see a little tap, not hard, middle of the corner shuffle. Stay sealed up to the bumper with the light tap.
Might be 3 wide here in a sec. Barnes peeking down there a little bit for side draft, a little bit to try and see what the 29 is going to do about it. King still leads on the top.
But really speaking, where do we go from here is the question now for some of the drivers as you see just how much the lines work themselves forward here.
Yeah, Gill's still in this race after some pretty heavy damage on that last caution. Still in touch with that lead pack.
Yeah, but that's the tough thing is there's only 17. I know it sounds like a fair amount, but there's not that many in the hindsight. We start with 36 in the main pack. Tim Carpenter is the leader of those who have lost touch to the field. Reggie Kime, 79's back there, 21, the 7. A few of these competitors saying, or might not have the speed right now to just maintain the back end of the pack, because with the fixed setup usually, if you're at the back, there's a huge risk you fall off of it.
Yeah, the 4 cars behind Carpenter all have pretty heavy right front damage. The 9, the 79, the 28, and I think that kind of who's right behind him. Yeah, 28's got it as well. So does the 7. Brumley is completely out to lunch on an island. That car is well destroyed. Can barely crack over 170. And we're starting to get racy up here. Gillen has made his way to the point of the inside lane.
Yep, and he's getting bounced around a little bit. Going with the Simpsons look, with the dunk machine, and that was nearly underneath him. Okay, lucky that Cochran backed off on the C4 machine, and that allows Wilson to take it 3 wide. He nearly got turned on by Daly.
Yeah, aggressive to say the least. Getting a little, maybe too much racing action here coming to the end of stage number 2. 10 to go still. You know, a lot of drivers have issues with just ill-timed moves as Wilson trying to shove it through the middle with help from Robertson.
You can see just how much things are getting dicey here. A little bit of a track up. Back to the bottom. Robertson amongst those up towards the front again. Carrico is now working his way ahead with Roethlisberger pushing Keenum.
Pushes on the middle. Gillen shoves it 3 wide.
I don't know about that move, and you can already see a couple.
Oh, they're going to throw each other. There they go. There it is.
See, you can see that coming.
Yeah.
We're back under caution. And there goes Maupin, who's been trying to stay in the back all race. He just got turned around by the 88.
Yeah, that was ill-advised, to say the least.
And all you can say is, if you want to be a pro, you need to be smart on the moves. This was a tight window, and then they all converged together.
I got to question what the 52's doing also. I mean, he came so far down off the wall. If he runs the normal outside line, I mean, that crash doesn't happen. But he comes so far in that he pinches everybody. But this really started, if we go a little further back, it started with the 05. Watch this big shove to the back of the 17, got everybody out of shape, allowed Gillen to go to the middle, and then the 52 comes down. 17 goes up a little bit, but they make contact regardless. 43's in it, 88's in it. There goes Maupin. We were just talking about how the 88 just finally got back into this thing, and now he is again on the hook. That's 35 of Cochran. 88 on the side of the car, but yeah, now it's all mangled again.
Wow. It was some wild moments for Daly last night. It's some wild moments here tonight. So really speaking here, what are you telling? Let's put on the race control hat for a second. What's your message?
Oh, please.
With 6 cautions.
Please, no, JP. Don't put that on me.
You had it for Caswell, and then you threw it away.
I did. No, that's not what happened. That's another thing entirely. I didn't throw nothing away.
Okay.
In all seriousness, though, I don't really think I tell drivers anything. And I'll tell you why. I've said it before on this very broadcast is you want to make drivers see red, tell them they're not doing a good job. They know they're not doing a good job right now. They are well aware of what is happening out here because they continue to pace around this racetrack and continue to be caught up in accidents that are... That last one was probably the most racing incident crash we've seen so far, where it's just somebody wasn't quite in the right spot, maybe an ill-advised move, and regardless, you get 3 cars wrecking up into the top of the corner. But I mean, self-clearing each other, pushing in the corners, making, these accidents happen. Drivers understand what they're doing wrong. They get it because they're behind the wheel. Race control, really all you got to do is throw the yellows and manage the black flags. That's pretty much it. And anything more than that, and you're probably running the risk of having drivers just be quite upset during the race. And again, my message to drivers is nothing. It's just we're going to run out of cars eventually, and eventually you're going to incident point your way out of this. I think Stephen Gill just found that, in fact. Might have hit an incident point limit. It's, I think, 17x to get a drive-through and 25x for a DQ, and we got to be approaching that here pretty quick for some of these guys.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, you don't want to end up getting yourself potential strikes or future penalties, to say the very least, affect your ability for you and your team to be able to field your car.
Because in the grand scheme of this, most of the field, this race means nothing to them. Part-timers, this race means nothing. Drivers locked in the chase, this means nothing. It really only matters to guys in the bubble right now. So don't let this race influence Watkins Glen next week with the penalty that you just simply didn't need to get. But drivers should be understanding that, and if it's not the drivers, the team owners should be relaying that to their drivers because they're likely in the same voice chats with them. Spotters should be helping. It's not necessarily race control's responsibility to tell the drivers to figure it out. It's the people around the drivers need to figure it out, and the drivers need to figure it out because they're the ones piloting these cars. And race control can only do so much and only bang their head against the wall so many times before you've only got 3 or 4 cars left.
So really speaking, as we get all steadied out, let's reset here in the top 10. It's Kane, Roethlisberger, Barnes, Carrico. You also have Wilson, Shob, Robertson, Holston, Wade, and Sakata inside the top 10.
Shootout to the end of the stage as well. Number 65 is the number we're going for. Not too far from it. Be 6 to go at the line.
So we'll see how this really goes on the restart. To make their way up through turn 3 and get themselves geared up for what's going to be a 6-lap dash.
Yeah, we currently have 16 drivers in the lead pack. Kimes should be able to catch up with some damage. Brumley, I don't think he got it fixed. Nope, still quite heavily damaged for the 2. Run out of cars.
Yeah, this is... I think we're almost out of bubble wrap in the pit lane at this point. I don't know
cases, bubble wrap, everything is being used. Cardboard, corrugated, non-corrugated. Goodness gracious.
Here we go, back underway. And we're to 6 to go. You can see just how much that outside line is moving. And right now, Robertson wants to try to push together Wilson as they compress together.
One thing that having less cars in the race up at the front is doing is you're allowing teammates to get together. We're seeing it with the 93 and the 17. They got together immediately right behind the 14 here, and they're trying to work their way up to the front. The 27 and the 51 are acting kind of as pseudo teammates. I think the 29 is part of the 51's camp as well. So they're all working together. You know, you're starting to see some of these alliances come out right at the end of stage 2.
Yeah, you see just how much there's near 3 wide there. Robertsberger thought about a look and decided to stay back in line. Aggressive side drafting here too here, Morgan. Trying to pull each other back. This is really slowing up the head of the pack a bit.
And this is where those accordion effects happen, is when you have guys side drafting so aggressively like this. And you just better hope that internet connection is strong, or else you're going to end up hooking somebody into the fence. McGarrigle takes the high side. He'll try and lead that lane. Now it's Isaac Wilson on the bottom to try and make his charge to the front. Shob's got to get much closer than that as a third car, although King, oh my goodness, that was ill-advised. And then, oh, the 29 got out of line. Now King's gone. Oh, this is near calamity at the front of the field.
Yep, you can just see a little bit of this getting tight again. Gotta have to be careful here with under 4 laps to go. Stephen Gill is now the newest driver to leave the facility. To watch things now for the rest of the race from the sidelines. The 14 is still up in front. Despite all those drivers on the outside, the inside still seems to be better joined. And here we go. King goes outside.
Yeah, big move to the top for King. He's got no help behind him. Here comes the 29. But it might be too little too late. He's already lost 2.5 car lengths. Now the 14 up to lead the high side. King's going to go to the middle. No, way high side. Thinks of it.
Yeah, now you can see how much King's trying to get himself to go ahead. Push on the inside. Wilson went on the apron, just about trying to push himself forward. See them all sandwiched together here, bumper to bumper to bumper to bumper, trying to find a way to go ahead.
Yeah, King has the bottom if he wants it. I don't think he's going to leave the 29, though.
Yeah, teamwork starting to come into play possibly here. That's ideal meatball machines. So that is meatball ideal, I should say, that are in the same conversation group that are going to be working together here. Down to the final couple laps of the stage. Roethlisberger really shuffling, and King got offset, trying to move down. He couldn't.
It's a dead heat. Off of turn number 2. Here comes the run for the top. Can't quite get there. There's the push from the 27. He's there now. Inside line starting to fall apart a little bit. Oh, look at the peak for the 93, trying to get air to the nose. Oh, the rookie behind him.
Gillen Amonso's around, and now
this should be the stage.
That is the stage. The wrecking into the wall. We're under caution, coming to 1 to go. And that includes drivers like Cochran with heavy damage, who broke their suspensions. Tim Carpenter, Gillen, as mentioned, was in it. We're back under yellow.
Here's where it happened. Yeah, just the 81 went way up the racetrack. I'll have to see that one again. Not really sure why. Just looking at that green hood, kind of teal rear bumper sort of thing.
Did I see that right? Were they 4 wide, or was that just offset 3?
I think it was just offset 3.
They were 4.
4 wide, yeah. I still don't know why the 81 went up the racetrack so aggressively. Because that was definitely one of those 4 wide moves that you could have got away with. Especially because I think the 88 was going to back out. I don't think he quite realized that they were 4 wide at the moment he made the move, but either way, let's see it from the driver's seat of Cochran, who got a pretty big piece of this. Yep. That's what it looked like from ours too.
Yep, and then they add in even more contact after the fact as well.
Yeah.
Bang, bang plays like baseball, except with physical contact with race cars.
Yeah, that's not good for it.
I don't know why he did that to make it worse.
Well, I mean, that car already was meatballed. That thing was already... I think he sat on pit road and fixed more damage than anybody else here today. Just had enough of it, I suppose. But that's going to put Zachary King as a stage winner.
Yes, I was about to say. Over Zach Roethlisberger. Meatball ideal, 1-2. Wilson, Gargle, Barnes, Robertson, Sakata, Schob, Holston, and Wade. We're in the top 10. And we'll get the opportunity to pit here. And then we're already past the halfway point. The focus is simple. It's a one-stopper from here.
Yeah, pretty cut and dry. Well, yeah. I guess when we complete the caution period, yes, it will be a one-stopper at the end, for sure. What do you think? You want to chat with your stage winner?
I think we should. Why don't we check in with Zachary King? Because if he is working with Elijah Maupin right now, actually, we'll check with him after pit stops. I think he's probably just trying to make sure of the pit calls. That's actually a better way to go about it. You don't want to distract him for the pit stops, if you will. Race drivers do not like that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. They don't like it. They don't like being disturbed.
Have I said that around you? Because I feel like I've said that only in private.
No,
I don't know how you knew I said that.
You've said it on the show before, yeah.
Anyhow, Your pins on the race so far tonight in general.
Yeah. Rock'em Sock'em Racing, I think, is the most concise way to say it. I think the head has popped off of the at least one of the boxers here, and it seems like most drivers have lost their heads tonight, as well as their race cars. And we're down to what, 15 or so not smashed cars, and we have a full stage to go. Just under half this race still yet to be played out. Yeah, there's lots of racing left.
That's going to see everybody peel down pit road on the lead lap. At least Reggie Kine was the first driver currently scored not on the lead lap previously. He's back on it with the wave around. And how many take grip? Not too many. A lot of two-tire calls yet again to save some time with the fuel tanks here this evening. That's going to be a major thing to consider. Not too many people, I think, have taken 4 tires. Last night in the Caswell race, we spoke with one driver who hadn't taken tires since lap 17 in what was an 80-lap race. Tire wear's not the end-all be-all, but it's still helpful to have grip.
Especially in this car, it is. The Caswell glass car, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I strongly considered not taking tires the whole race last night. It really wasn't necessary. It made no difference in grip and the ability to make moves. But in this car, it does make a little bit of a difference. Having that extra grip, those lower air pressures can certainly help you maneuver on these early restarts and make those aggressive top to bottom, bottom to top sort of maneuvers. But from here, yeah, I don't think you need tires per se. It's really more about the fuel tank.
Exactly. And as Zachary King now is taking that pit stop, I think now is the safe time to speak with him. Now that he doesn't have to worry about pit adjustments. Zachary King, this is broadcast booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, what's going on, boys?
You're here tonight. How are you feeling in the car?
You know, obviously, losing my grandfather on Sunday wasn't the great thing to start the week, but yeah, strong car today. Really happy to be back in Florida, Daytona. Obviously wasn't able to get the, obviously wasn't able to race last night, but yeah, it is what it is, and we're just happy to go from 3 laps down to stage win.
What was the first part you said, just to clarify, and tell me again the emotions this week about losing your grandfather?
Yeah, it's obviously been the roughest week of my life. It just sucks. I mean, he's such a great guy. I mean, that's who I talk sports to and everything. So I watch Panthers hockey, Dolphins football, and everything. It's just, yeah, we lost him Sunday morning. So obviously, I think the sticker's on my car. I really hope it's loaded in on the car. But yeah, just racing for Poppy, and obviously gonna try to get this done for him.
So what's the game plan for stage 3?
Car's really strong. Obviously have only about, I think, 18 or 17 cars in the lead lap. So just gotta keep fighting and put ourselves in good position. I really like where we're at. Obviously working with the 29, the 66, and the 27 as always. So as long as we get hooked back up, I'm just gonna keep chewing on that top side and take this thing hopefully to victory lane. It'd be amazing to win here under the lights of Daytona for my first Cup win and everything. So we just gotta keep playing how we're playing cards right and do our thing, managing control of the top lane, and we'll be fine.
Good luck here.
Thank you, guys.
Zachary King, you mentioned some of the emotions there. Needed to double back on that first point at that situation. Obviously, when you lose a family member, it's a tough situation at the very least. And right now, he's doing well in this car here tonight.
Yeah, it helps when you have something to race for. But also it makes it clear that there's more to life than what we're doing here on a Friday night. And I don't think anybody has learned that harsher reality more clearly, more quickly than Zachary King has in the last couple of days. So, you know, thoughts with that family entirely, and let's get back to racing here.
Absolutely. Here we go. 52 to go. Pace car already off the green, already waving. And look at that. Roethlisberger getting a good jump. Isaac Wilson didn't get the greatest of those. And Zachary King trying to push him. Christian Barnes cut the cue as a result of that launch.
And Shob now leading the bottom. Well, he was. I think he's going to probably find himself in a tough spot here with Robertson hanging him out to dry. Topside trying to get lined up again. Seems like you're able to kind of ride up there for a few laps and avoid some of the chaos.
By the way, Ashton Crowder is one of those watching along the race tonight. Shout out to him, as with this, potentially will miss the chase here this evening. He was helping out with tech apparently for some of the crew members at Iowa here today in real life.
Wow. The 19 just had probably the best save of the day. That thing was dead to rights, and he brought it back and didn't have to lift at all with the 19 car. Holy cow.
You can see just how much Robertson is trying to get some assistance to go up to the front, looking to get alongside for second. Now the move up from Ruttmansberger to block off, doesn't take it. Now he takes it. Now he goes every lane. He just wants to be the driver who controls the pack, but Robertson's quicker.
It's like Pokemon, you got to block them all.
You can't make those types of cuts without being too risky, though. 3 wide up front for a moment.
93 poked outside to see kind of what was doing. Nothing happening. Got back in line. Doesn't really want to help the 29. Wants to help the 17. He's trying to get around him to get back in touch with the leader of the bottom.
Getting a little bit edgy here when it comes to some of the runs. And there they go. Could see that coming. It's Kane who's sent down the racetrack. He slides down to the apron. No signal for a flag yet as he loops it around. We stay green, and that sees Robertson, Barnes, and then a gap to Wade.
Yeah, Wade will get back up there pretty quick. This whole pack will get back together in fairly short order. While they do that, let's go back and replay this spin with the 51. A little further back. Hit from the 19. Just sent it to the inside, and around he went.
Sent him spitting, sent him sliding, and bye-bye race car. And you have to be careful in this type of a spot. And the thing is, that's been building up for a while with Wilson trying to make some of the moves. That case, heavy
Oh, yeah,
push.
there it is. Yeah, he just went in and got a big shot on the door of the 29, and obviously King was the recipient of it. Very similar to what happened last night and that final lap, actually.
By the way, if you do some very rough math here, there is the bright side Ashton Crowder I don't think knows yet. His opponents either DNS'd, which means did not even start tonight, or crashed. So there's a strong chance he may still get in this, even though he's in Iowa right now.
Best points day is when you don't have to take the green and you still clinch potentially a chase spot.
Yeah, it's one of those types of events absolutely here tonight where we've seen just how wild some of the drivers have been in terms of points conversations. It's a maybe right now, though. It's not a secure clinch as things are going, unless we get any indication. But that being said, look who's up front. Returned a couple weeks ago, Michael Wade is now to the front.
And the 05 involved in a couple accidents already tonight and might be involved in another one here if continues to get pushed like that. Oh, man. That thing is out of control sideways right now. Fiffner Bale says, I don't want any of this.
Yeah, that might be a risky play actually for the 55. I think he will lose the draft possibly from that. That might have not been the play, Morgan.
Well, there's a group behind him to catch him. Not too far back. They are losing time, but they're still there. Maupin's the one leading that group. Some pretty damaged cars there, but at least he's not going to fall off the lead lap, I wouldn't expect, unless we happen to stay green for the first time tonight.
Seeing a few of the drivers on the outside linking up. A few of them are teammates. Some of those for a team we haven't talked to much of various groupings that look for quasi-alliances, and this is part of the race where you really look to capitalize on those deals, if you will. Make sure you're maybe talking to the radio. A few drivers tonight are out of the team channels, including Holston, Shobe, and Brumley, and Wade. They just so happen to be all amongst some of those up at the front here.
Yeah, Gasheri still having connection issues. That 8 probably still using the 79's internet connection.
Yeah,
oh, near spin with Wade off the nose of Holston.
Yeah, you see a little bit of checkups. Roethlisberger, amongst those going to the inside. Most of the field is now elected just ride and buy their time. After all, estimated run about 18 more laps on the fuel tank. Take us well in the marks to get towards the end of the race from this point. 79 continues the tech issues as you refer to, but some of the other drivers we haven't talked about too much. How about Sakata making an appearance here in this series tonight? Doing well, getting up to the front of the right moment for Davidson tonight.
You haven't really talked about him at all today. Seen this car kind of hanging around that top 15, but when you've only got 17 left, I mean, you're able to move up to the front, and this is the strategy I was alluding to earlier in the race is as long as you're around after that final pit stop, you have a really good shot at getting a good finish. And right now, this driver has found themselves in an opportunity going into that final pit stop to potentially come out of here with some good finishes. Oh my goodness, Holston just about got to the quarter of Wade, and there was not enough room there.
And by the way, the 79 is officially gone with the tech issues, so there goes that concern because it resolved itself with 17 left in the race. Kime looking to show it off and bounce his way to the point yet again. Remember, last year at Daytona was pretty stellar. In the start of the year in the MRL was one of those flashy here early this evening for Reggie Kime. Would be very solid for him this evening if he was able to get himself in the conversation. He was the driver on the bubble tonight, by the way.
Right. And considering what happened to Marino Jr., doesn't really matter. He can kind of do whatever he wants at this point. He's good to go. He can't finish worse than Marino Jr. tonight. That gap was 6 coming in as they're going to swallow up King. Wade goes to the top. I think we're all going to get around the 51. All right. Oh, maybe not.
Yeah, and King getting really pushed wide there with the traffic. Trying to get swallowed by the pack here. Obviously, he's having to race Alex Young for the lucky dog. And the thing is, if he loses the pack, Alex Young could possibly chase him down.
I don't know where the damage came from the 51. He's got some damage on the right front. He didn't really. Well, I guess he got hit pretty good when he went for that spin. It's probably where it came from, but I didn't see it on the initial contact.
Yep, all this is with Kime. All sorts of trying to find a way to control things as the leader now for the first time tonight. Coming up to 40 laps to go here in the race. Get some of the others here in the conversation. Talk to Sakata about Sakata. Fiftner did hold on to the pack, but barely, by the way, because of the side-by-side. These front runners, they're actually a touch bit slower than the 3-4 car pack of Maupin, Shobe, Brumley, and now Alex Young. So these drivers are actually holding each other back a little bit, even though they're still trying to sort out what line's the best.
Yeah, I think if Wade and Holston can get in line behind King, in front of King, whatever the case is, this lead group will be a rocket ship. But they're just a little too stubborn right now to get in line. They want that positioning. So I think at this point we're trying to race to either the next yellow or green flag stops, which we're halfway through the run.
And obviously, part of that plan is you got to make sure you're at sequence together in the way of you have to make sure your fuel number is exact to what you want, who you want to work with. Better yet, are you taking lefts? Are you taking rights? Because that could be the difference of a couple seconds.
I'd probably be no tires, fill it with fuel. We talked about that earlier. Tires not really mattering here, and you want to be as fast as you can on and off a pit road. You got to get that same amount of fuel too. That's a big one. Take the same amount of fuel to the end as the driver's on pit road with you, or else you're going to get left behind.
Absolutely. And as this ticks away here, shout out to those still running. I believe Daly never thought about coming back to the race. Kinzer, King, Yun amongst those that have lost circulation. We know King's the lap down in the heart of the pack. We know Yun's still in the race. There's a look at that pack we're referring to. They did have a shot at closing up, but not able to. There's a look at Kinzer, who is on their lonesome, next to be lapped. There goes Kime. He lost his friends.
He got shoved out of line pretty good. Same thing happened at the end of stage 1, I believe. Had a shot at stage points and lost them all immediately.
Yeah, but all this is to say, you can tell some of these drivers want to work with others. Some of them want to just see themselves up at the front. It's really part of the dynamic that is a big thing on super speedways, which you can control a bit easier than just say a mile and a half, where you have to physically take lap after lap to set up.
Yeah, and that mindset you mentioned of working together versus being out for yourself, it's really evident on the racetrack. You can tell exactly who's got friends and who's not making friends, and it all comes around at the end of the race. Because someone who doesn't make a lot of friends, they don't really get help at the end of the race.
That's to say, as this all goes about, they're about to reach that 20 machine, who's sticking to the bottom.
28 to Collier. Staying out of trouble. Running in the top 5. Good for him.
All near contact way near we came down. He's able to hold on to it, keeping it steady.
See what happens when they work around the 20. Front 4 so far, so good.
Gotta be smart. And really, as they all take a breath here, Calamity Corner is going to be wild here on this pit entry, because this car can get pretty well woed up on speed. Yeah, it still can wreck it though.
Saw that happen earlier to Calkins on that caution. He hit the brakes and it shot to the right. Very easy to spin on under braking, especially with the smaller brake package they have here. Hit the brake pedal and this thing just starts to wobble back and forth over the bumps, and you're kind of along for the ride as a driver.
Indeed. Deep breath time, if you will. I know we keep saying that, but it's a good reminder, because you have to breathe as a driver. If you are too relaxed, it's too big of an issue. If you're up on the wheel the whole time at Daytona,
right,
that's another thing too.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing altogether. Front of the pack starting to sort themselves out for pit stops. About 9 laps time, if my fuel number is correct.
Yeah, looking about 8 is the number I'm seeing too, so it's pretty close. And I know it's almost like the hourglass of the race, but this is part of it. In a 7 caution affair, including 2 stage cautions, you never know when the next flag's going to come into play, and better yet, with the way this is going, this is where, if you were one of those to survive, this is why you have to make sure you're here for the big race, for the biggest part of the event right here and now.
Yeah, this is the kind of racing I expected to see through stage 1 and 2. Instead, we got all of the wrecking out of the way early, it seems, and we're starting to kind of get ourselves a little bit more sorted out. Drivers have got their heads on straight, and we're starting to be able to make moves that don't result in multiple drivers wadded up in the inside and outside walls. So that's good to see. Do we see a green flag stop for the first time in quite a few weeks? Maybe.
Yeah, and we didn't really see that last night in the Castle Glass Company Series, I think. We've seen, in fact, it come down to fuel mileage, the green white checkered for a couple drivers. On the bright side, if this stays green, Reggie Kine doesn't have to worry about the clutch pedal. Remember, he doesn't have one.
And a lot of drivers don't have clutch pedals. I also don't have a clutch pedal, for that matter.
How do you save gas?
I have my ways. I have a clutch button.
I mean, that makes sense, but you need to have the button before you start the race, most importantly, at Daytona especially.
Yes, certainly. I did save fuel. I was good for one more green white checker last night. Just didn't quite get there.
Great to know.
As we are door to door. Wade got a great push on the outside lane.
Clear. And Wade continuing to lead laps. He's led 3 of them so far. I know he's been one of those as well. He unveiled the paint scheme side of things coming in this week as there goes Roethlisberger moving down. And hold on, hold that story. Nearly got ugly with King trying to keep himself outside. I think they've calmed down. I was about to say, it feels like this story doesn't want to get told. Roethlisberger to the front.
Hard at Daytona with all of the moving and shaking that happens every lap. King now pushing like heck on the back of the 29. Wade bobbing back and forth. Robertson doesn't really want to get a hold of the 05. Probably going to spin him if he does. With how much that 05 moved off the bottom. 27 trying to side draft, not doing a great job of it. Inside line in shambles right now. Wade's going to hit? I don't really know what's happening on the inside lane.
Yep,
Curious.
I think, yeah, I'm not sure about this either. Oh, that makes more sense. Some of the teammates just trying to help each other here. That might be coming to play here. Yeah, the ideal car's lining up.
I think they realize that 17 and 93 up in front is the way that inside line goes real fast. And look at look at this group now. They are on fire at the moment.
So, as they all planted themselves out, I was about to say in the case of Wade, story-wise, he and James Sturdivant, I think, are trying to plan things out team-wise. They designed intent of paint schemes. James was supposed to run the 67 car tonight. I don't think he appeared this evening.
He did not.
But it was talked about looking to hook up with a lifelong friend that he's respected both on and off the racetrack. He trusted him to create the car for the paint scheme tonight of that 05 machine for tonight. And now he's looking to keep it up at the front here this evening with that different look in that Toyota.
Always good to see relationships outside the sim make their way onto the sim and be able to race with your friends and have a good time here. On a Friday night, that's what it's all about. After all, is having fun. That's why we do this. It's been a good time here in the Mystic Racing League. Outside lane is really starting to have issues here.
Yeah, you see them all queued up here. And really, I'm not too concerned, really.
No.
At this part of the run, knowing they're about to pit. Dylan Brumley already pit this previous time by. They're about to peel off anyway. It's not major panic.
And on the same token, there's only, how many cars in this pack? 11? 11 lead lap cars in this group, so really it doesn't matter all that much if you fall to the back of the group, because, I mean, you're going to go from, what, 6th to 11th? Yippee. It's not that big of a deal. Just pass a few cars and you're already back in there. So I wouldn't be too worried either. I think we're starting to get ready for pit stops here, though. Drivers lining up on the inside. but Sakata and Kime to the inside.
Yep, again. I think this is now the sign that they're coming down. There's King.
There it is.
There it is. First ones are in. Any contact? Well, we have a couple missing the pit road. Kane and Roethlisberger and nearly into Barnes. And the caution is out because Isaac Wilson spun.
Oh, man. Well, that's chaotic. Let's go back. Goodness gracious. First with the caution, then to the pit road. Oh, just a shot from Holston to Wade. How did Pfiffner avoid the 93? Check this out, JP.
Right about here. Remember, some of the drivers pit, but then they stayed out here. I don't know why there's a slope in the middle of the pack.
Check this out.
Oh, wow.
You cannot get any closer than that. I don't know how Reggie Kime ended up wrecking, but he did. Let's go back and see the 51 on the pit entry. Right. Oh, did he just speed? Maybe? He just locked up the tire and drove into the grass. I thought there was contact with the 29. There was not. Interesting. Either way, that should actually cycle King up to the front. Oh, he's 2 laps down, though. Oh, because he had to repair damage? That's interesting. I don't know why he's so far back. Maybe it was a penalty that he got held for. Should take a wave around here, though, for King fans. Collier and McGarrigle just got black flags for speeding. So did Sakata. So did Kinzer.
There's a lot of black flags right now that people are dealing with.
Could also be passing. Drivers obviously spinning in a bit of a weird situation, but regardless, issues in the pits for drivers. Robertson already gone and away. Shoaib missed his pit stall by a country mile. At least 6 stalls he missed by.
Yep, and right now, a lot of this is damage repair.
That's right.
For majority of these drivers. Robertson took 2. Barnes actually got damage repair. It still came out second.
And some of these drivers also having to serve the penalties for speeding or passing under yellow or whatever the case was that got them the black flag. In the case of Sakata, having to be on there for 40 seconds. McGarrigle in the same way, 40 seconds on pit road. Collier, same sort of boat. So really quite a chaotic pit sequence there, having drivers on pit road while the caution came out. Now you're good on gas. So as long as you're in the lead pack and can stick with the lead pack, you have a pretty good shot here to the end.
I think so. Indeed. And as this is about to set up for a wild end again, I don't think anyone had in the script that we might only have about, give or take, 10, 12 cars by the end of a race like this. I don't think this was anybody's expectation. Obviously, this was a tough race. We've seen that as Barnes continues to stay to the outside. I don't know how this is going to go here as the lights are still on the pace car. That's why. I think they're trying to get everything sorted here before we actually get to the point where we come down, and the fact that some people had already pit. The situation right now, per the scoring, would be about 13 on the lead lap at the moment, at least currently.
This is going to make every move a little bit less risky, I would say. How do I say that? You can take riskier moves because the risk is less. Meaning that before, when you had 36 cars in the pack, you made a bad move as the leader, you're going all the way back to the 20s or 30s. Now, you fall outside the top 10, that's about it. So you can make some more aggressive moves, you know, forcing things 3 wide, trying to make a third lane, whatever, because the payoff is greater than the risk now. It's certainly going to be interesting to the end. I think we'll see some more aggressive racing, and it's going to ramp up a little bit.
And who do you think is going to be the best driver out of this? Who do you think is going to get the win with the way things have gone tonight?
I have a hard time. I'm going to give you 3 drivers. I have a hard time looking away from the 93, from the 17, and the 51. Robertson obviously winning stage 1, won at Daytona earlier this year. The 93 has been the ultimate wingman tonight for the 17, and I think very easily could pull out a move on the final lap off of turn 4 to get the win for himself. Not that he particularly needs it, but I think he definitely could. Remember, he won at Talladega earlier this year as well, so he can get it done on plate tracks. And then King, if he can get the laps back, I don't know why he didn't. Oh, because Barnes stayed out. But if King can get back on the lead lap, this 51 has been inspired tonight and exceptionally quick. That's if he can get back on the lead lap with only 23 to go, 22 to go now. That'll be a tall task. We've seen crazier things happen tonight.
I think we have. And I think we're not done seeing the crazy. Yeah. Especially here in this run. The Kate T300. Coming up to what will be a 21 lap run to the end if we stay green. How it looks. Robertson chose the inside, Barnes the outside. He had chosen that outside a while ago. Wilson and Holston, followed by Wade and Shobe. You also throw in Maupin and Kime. Then Pfiffner and Sakata, Collier, Brumley. You also have, here we go. You also throw in Kinzer. King is now scored 16th. He is 2 laps down still. Brumley is 1 lap down, I should rather say, in the queue. 14 stay on the lead lap as a whole is the confirmation for the upcoming restart here, Morgan.
About to get this thing back underway, and you can kind of feel that intensity just ramping up a little bit. Drivers knowing no more pit stops required. The race is going to be decided by what happens between the wall and the double yellow line. Once this pace car drops off, this is going to be a rompous ride to the finish here.
We're all set to go for the restart. Right now, the field back in a fair ways off that pace car as they warm up the tires here. Majority are on the inside. Coming up to start lap 100 here from Daytona. Robertson, not that really far up on the inside. We're back underway. Doesn't really matter, it seems, because it's a bit slower of a start for Barnes on the top. Everyone's spread apart. No one is connected.
Yeah, that was a lackadaisical restart, to say the least. Not a whole lot of communication and organization, but now 3 on the top, 2 on the bottom. Get together and Shobe trying to bring support on the top side. Oh my goodness, Holston. Oh, they're wrecking behind him. Zachary King's in it. Caution is out.
Here we go.
Well, that will pretty much secure it for Zachary King. I don't think he's going to have time to get the damage repaired and get the laps back. Pushing the 20 right now, who I think is back on the lead lap. Yes, Kinzer back on the lead lap. Yeah, King just tried a move that was, he just simply was not clear.
Yeah. And another caution flag.
You bet. That was very similar to the Ullman incident earlier in the race.
So obviously, going to add to more of the drivers with contact. No air black flags popped up at this caution period. But we're going to have to re-rack and stack again, and that does see Holston actually jump to second.
Speaking of Holston, let's have a chat with him. I don't think we've talked to Holston all year. Now seems like a great time.
I agree with you. It's been a pretty quiet year for a driver that started off loud in 2025. He's looking to make a big bang here to right for the chase. Adam, do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
How are you feeling up at the 12 machine here tonight, giving it a start for the first time in a bit?
I'm feeling pretty good. I definitely think we have a shot at this one. I really don't know where I'm planning on going to try and make the pass, but we're just gonna go with the flow and see where it takes us.
Now, obviously, given amongst those working together with a few different drivers, more loosely connected here this evening, what have been some of the discussions you've had with Schob, with Brumley, with Wade tonight?
We've just really been talking about the fuel, and honestly the tires kind of matter, it seems like. So we've just been talking about that, keeping each other out of trouble, and that's really it.
So overall, what's the game plan to get yourself the win here tonight?
Well, you can't win it by following someone, so I'm gonna have to try and make some kind of move, maybe go 3 wide if it opens up. So I think I'm gonna have to make some kind of move.
Thanks for the time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Adam Holston takes the time to speak with us there, Morgan. And on that note, with the drivers getting repairs, there's maybe 12-ish cars with clean race machines. And the more you think about it, the more it's going to be difficult for some of these drivers with the draft. If you have some of the damage, we might see this pack split apart again.
Yeah, well, in fact, let's take an opportunity. Let's go through the field. We don't have that many cars to do that with. Let's have a look at some of these race cars and see kind of what they're looking like. 27, clearly not damaged. Same at the 17. Holston's looking pretty good. So is Wilson. That's your top 4. Wade's car looking clean. Had some damage earlier, but seemed to get the 05 pretty fixed up. He's been a mainstay in the field here for the last little while. Schob has been out of trouble for a lot of this race. I think caught up in maybe 1 accident, but that car is clean also. Reggie Kime had damage, got it fixed. Been in the top 10 ever since. Sakata looking pretty good in the 01. Quiet day for him. McGarrigle, car hard to tell with the different colors on the nose, but still looking pretty clean as well. Maupin's had a roller coaster of a day, but seems to be on a high note at the moment. Same with Collier. Roethlisberger, that car also looking pretty clean. That's going to leave Kinzer, who I don't think got any damage from the last accident. Pfiffner, who has damage on the right front. And Brumley, who obviously that thing is still smashed all over the front end. Those are the drivers who are left running in this one.
It's been an attrition night, to say the very least, for this field. And now, as we get ready for the restart, Barnes shows the inside this time compared to Robertson. You also have Holston up there with Wilson. You have Wade and Schob. Kime, Roethlisberger inside the top group. So this will set us up for what will be 17 to go now, Morgan. And can't confirm, only 15 left running. Zachary Kane has left the circuit.
And a few of those drivers still in the session are definitely not coming back out on the racetrack. Clayton Good, John Ullman, Michael Daly, Alex Young. They're still here. They're just sitting on top of their cars watching this one from the infield, getting a pretty good vantage point. But unfortunately, not the one they're looking for. They obviously want to be on the racetrack fighting for the win, but it's not working.
It really has been a night where it's been a battle for some. But we'll find out pretty soon who wins that battle here this evening for the KT 300 at Daytona. Pace car makes its way off towards the edge of the banking in turn 4. as Barnes looks to get some good fire off. You can see the look on everybody's eyes, or at least you can imagine it, as Barnes pulls back the gear to set up the restart. Can they get themselves a win at Daytona before the start of the chase? We're back underway. It's a clean start on the inside. Really good with Holston, in fact. Had to check up, though, with the gear shift.
Yeah, Holston timed that nicely with the outside lane. Just now getting together. They're back to alongside Wade for third in line. But I imagine the push will come furiously off of turn number 2. Wade thought about going up to block it, thought better of it. Robertson on the charge. Wade, black flag. Potentially incident points for the 05.
Have to wonder, because that would take him out of the conversation here. Get confirmation, but right now, the 05, his chances have gone out the window.
Yep, there he's pitting now.
He was running 4th in the pack.
Have to think other drivers are closing in on that number as well. It's been a pretty rough night tonight.
Coming up to 15 to go when they get to the stripe. Barnes only 6 laps led here tonight. It's in a race where not really one car has established full dominance outside that 17 machine. Right now, Charles is getting the momentum once again with the help of Wilson.
Yeah, that duo on the top is going to be exceptionally hard to beat.
Yeah, look at how much that 93 is trying to push. You can only push for so long. Remember, there's no tape with these cars, if you remember, for so many years now, but they will blow up if you keep it sealed to a bumper for 3 laps.
They sure will. You can get it pretty hot, though. It does have and it cools rather quickly also, which is nice. Much easier to do that on the top, I always found, than the bottom. There's a lot more room to kind of poke out and get air to it. Brumley is having issues. That car is wobbling back and forth, middle of your screen, that black car.
Yeah, that could cause a little bit of trouble, a little bit of weeble wobbling there this time for Shobe on the push. Barnes going for the lead again after Robertson got it. Near door-to-door contact on the side draft. Barnes, his run dies out though. Couldn't clear. Now Holston on the bumper.
They just swapped dance partners. The 27, the 17. Now Barnes back in front. Does Robertson slide up in front of the 93? Probably off at turn 2 if the momentum starts to move forward.
Yeah, all sorts of back and forth. None of this pack seems to be really stable on who they want to work with. There's the book again. Wilson to the bumper of the 17. Wilson again pushes Charles ahead. Now it's side by side again with Isaac Wilson looking for the lead.
I think this is what they wanted, to be able to control the lines. They got it right now. Oh, contact with Shobe.
A little bit too close for comfort. You got to be careful with this type of a situation yet again, as they all make their way through. Holston, one of those still trying to get the push together, along with the run of Holston. Getting blocked off again.
There goes Shobe.
Nope, that's Sakata, in fact, and there goes Shobe now, and there's the caution.
Oh, big hit for Shobe. I think Sakata probably got the worst of that. Yeah, that car's pretty heavily hit. Shobe was the one that got the initial contact. That's kind of where the catalyst was. Watch that 19. Not sure if that's off the 14's bumper. Yeah, just got out of line. Sakata, big hit to the nose, and then mopping through the grass. I don't think he got too much damage out of this. One more time for the 66, who has been wrong place, wrong time a lot tonight.
And there's only so many times you can say that until you say, is it me or is it something
Right.
else?
Right.
Bam. Bam. Everyone incident. Show black flag.
That would be for the pit entry. So I think that was going to get cleared. Because he crossed the pit entry line after he hit the wall.
My question is, would it get reapplied if it does have an incident limit, too?
If it's incident limit, of course, it'll get reapplied. But I don't think that's the case here. That car hasn't really been in much tonight.
That being said here, John Ullman, I think, is trying to take the lucky dog here. And for him...
Brumley.
For Brumley, I should rather say. Seen a black car with a little bit of green, it's
Right.
actually gold.
It is
and
gold.
that car looks like it's been smashed with a hammer.
Yeah, that thing has seen better days. Yeah.
It's not pretty, but...
It's not particularly fast either with the heavy nose damage, but it continues to run. It's got one corner that isn't destroyed. That's the left rear.
Just got to put all the speed secrets in that corner. You can't
guess.
do it with a fixed setup, but you can try.
I guess. I mean, if he squeaks out of this, well, he's on the lead lap now, by the way, which is baffling, considering how wrecked that car is. He can squeak out here with the top 10 without much effort if things get wild in these final 10.
Which would be astonishing.
Yes. It's been a real bananarama tonight.
And we're running out of bananas at the Rama.
We are. Just peels left on the racetrack, it seems.
That in mind, we're coming up to 10 laps to go. It's going to be about a 9-lap dash from here. I think you have to think about, we know Wilson, we know Barnes, we know Robertson seem to be in it. Roethlisberger, I think you have to put it in the mix too. He's been in contention in both races this week.
Yeah, he's been good, for sure. He led some laps earlier today. Was working with King quite well before King had his issues. Now out of the race. Yeah, this 29 is pretty stout, but Holston, got to keep an eye on the 12 as well. He's been up here and been making some big money moves near the front of the field. We got 12 on the lead lap. I would say probably 11. I'm not sure about Pfiffner. I don't know if this car is damaged or not, but at 10 for sure, I think Pfiffner too. So 11 cars that have a really good chance at winning this race.
Take the cheers this time by. And it looks like already the field's indicating they want to be up top. Robertson and Wilson seem to be working pretty well together here.
Barnes will go bottom. Then split decision behind them.
Do you like the call?
I mean, if you're with your teammates, yeah, I definitely don't dislike it. You're the control car also, so you get to fire whenever. If you're the high side and you don't get to fire first, it's a bit of a disadvantage. Yeah, I don't mind this at all. They've clearly shown they can make the high side, and really the bottom, for that matter, work all night long.
Really, as they all take a breath. It's the home stretch. It's Barnes, Wilson, Robertson, Roethlisberger, Holston, Kime in the top four. Garrigle, should say. Kime, Kinzer, Wade, Collier inside the top 10. A part of the restart here. Pfiffner is also bunched up. Everybody else is still getting some repairs or had some repairs to do. 9 laps to get this done cleanly from here.
And remember, JP, as we learned last night, we have overtimes. 15 of them locked and loaded and ready to go should we need them. Fuel concerns, though, if we do need them. really close in the fuel tank. We even go to 1 overtime.
Gonna be an interesting spot now for the field. Who gets it done? That's everyone's question. Here we go, it's restart time. Field off and away, green is out. Back on her way with the push on the outside.
Going straight to controlling the lanes. Outside has really no help at all. It's just the 2, now 3 cars up there. Now Crime's starting to get into the group. It's going to be 4x4. Like that 3x5. Everyone piling onto the bottom now. Black flag for Show, but it held.
So that was the question we were talking about with incident points. There's the move for the 17. Here comes Holston. He wants to lead yet again. Can he get himself actually his first lead lap of the day, despite having a nose in front a few times?
Looks like he may. He's got the inside line open if he wants it. They're both going to move down and take it. Power move, 14 and 12 to the front, and here comes Wade.
Yeah, some Wade again back in the conversation. Maybe, just maybe. Yes, indeed, he is on the lead lap, and he's got some help.
Oh, big contact. They got way too far in front, and it shook up everything. Robertson had to bail. But again, short pack here. He should have enough time to get back to the front.
Almost got very bad there. Here we go. Holston now has Wade on the bumper. Who gets the next move? Right now, Fiftner is also in the mix. That top line is fading back quickly. Coming at 7 to go, now the 6 next time.
I think the outside line needs one of the 93 or 17 leading it to have a shot at getting this thing. The 29 maybe has a chance too, but I haven't really seen anyone else lead that line and it be effective. Who's left in the race, I should say.
Yeah, let's find out. All this as well. You see that top 3 not really connected at the moment. 14 taking an option to try and build the run. Now he's got the push. Here comes the move. Wilson's taking his chance to go up towards the front.
Yeah, that's the right decision from Wilson. Momentum just now reaching him. Holston's going to go up with him. Had an opportunity to maybe do an up and under, but decided against it. Just push Holston for the time being. I think they want to get away from Wade. That 05 bobbles back and forth, both as the pusher and the pushee, more than most drivers I've seen. Oh, they're wrecking in front of him. Holston is around.
Wilson's bobbling, the wrecking still, and caution is out.
Well, never mind.
That did not end well.
It did not. Reggie Kime, black flag. Fiftner, meatball flag.
Eek.
Yeah, that's... I don't really know about that one. Yeah, Fiftner just right into the door of the 12. Kime with the incidents and the heavy damage as well. Almost rolled it over for good measure. I want to go see that again. That was a kind of a weird incident there with the 93 and the 12. I don't really know why this happened. Oh, 14 went down to block, or went down to make a move. I don't know if the 12 came down, 93 went up, if it was trying to side draft, whatever it was, it obviously ended in disaster.
Big disaster.
We'll take a few of those cars that didn't have damage and just add a little damage to them.
That's not going to add speed. That's going to make it worse, obviously.
Yeah, it is. Somehow the 93 made it through with minimal damage. I don't know about Holston. Scrapes on the left side for sure. Right side looks okay. I think that car might be all right. A little bit to the right, or the left rear, which shouldn't really impact you in the draft all that much. I think it'll be all right. Yeah, the whole left side actually has got damage on it. 17's got pretty good damage too. See both of the front quarters knocked in on it. But with 5 to go and you're running third, there is no shot you're pitting here.
Yeah, well, a majority of the field did come down, but these front runners are going to, with the clean cars, take the chance to stay out.
Right.
They have a few cautions they can stay out here. We're talking about a restart for possibly a natural green-white checkered, actually.
Yeah, we're in natty territory, as they say. Natural green-white checker. And remember, if we have a caution during this green-white checker that happens before the white flag, we will have 15 opportunities at getting this thing done with an overtime green-white checker. Which I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the yellow flag fly again.
So, as they all sequence up, what do you think the newcomer's thinking about here? Making a cup start here tonight and having a chance to win it on debut for the season.
Yeah, it's this racetrack and this race just provides that. I don't know what it is about Daytona, what it is about the Mystic Racing League with new drivers that they always seem to start out of the box with a big hit, a big smash hit. Like you mentioned last year, the Crown Jewels. We had a number of part-timers win Crown Jewels last year. We've seen the part-timers run exceptionally well today. They ran exceptionally well in Indianapolis a few weeks ago as well. I'm not sure what it is, but it's in the water here in the Mystic Racing League.
It definitely is. And right now, you have to wonder if they're out of water. Hydration's important, but also a lot of these drivers had a lot of time to take sips of their liquid beverages here under the cautions. 3 to go. Let's see where the line choices come in. Bottom, top, 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 bottom for the first 5.
And as long as if you're working with somebody here, the lane choice matters. Otherwise, it really doesn't matter. You're just going to hope that the guy in second goes with you. But there was a new rule made this week. Remember Richmond last week, a lot of those restarts got a little funky with the second row launching well before the first row, shoving the leader ahead. That is illegal now. You cannot make contact as the second row on the restart. You cannot go and touch the leader before or second before they launch. That would be an illegal restart and you will get disqualified, or at least black flag, EOL, whatever the case is. That completely changes how you normally restart here. Because normally you want the second place driver to launch first, or the second row driver to launch first and get to your back bumper so you can launch together. In this situation, that can't happen. You can't make contact. You have to time it up perfectly. And if you don't, you get left with a huge jump in front of the field, and you're probably going to end up getting swallowed up by the pack when they catch you in the middle of turns 1 and 2.
So here we go. 2-lap natural green-white checkered finish. If we take the white flag, it's simple. The race comes up to the checkered. If we get a caution before the white, we will go into unlimited overtime. Or again, we have to take the white flag to see the checkered flag. So really, it becomes the huge question. Can they stay out of trouble for a few more miles? Only 5 of them.
And anyone on the lead lap right now in this group, they've all got a shot at it. Everyone back to Shobe.
Here we go. Green, green, green. We're back underway. Here we go. Good start for the 14.
A little too
Great
far out in
start.
front, though. I don't know. I don't really like that one.
He's got a teammate, though, that's going to be able to push him on the bottom, though.
I think the outside line falling away was the best thing for him.
Yep, you can see the insides working out pretty well. Look who's in third. Kinzer nearly got himself turned.
Here comes the group with the 29, the 17, the 27 into the back of Wade now. 17 had to bail. He knows he's got damage. Here comes Michael Wade. Lock from the 14. Time serving the drive-through. To the white flag. One more time around.
Wade all over the racetrack. He's hanging on the bumper. Goes inside again. Goes outside again. Now he goes inside again. Roethlisberger slams doors for third. Wade now on the bumper for Prowl on.
They got pretty far out front. Now the pack's gonna come to them. Ill-advised move from Wade. He got the 29 to the inside, below the line. That's gonna be questioned later.
Here we go. Roethlisberger to the outside. He makes bumper-to-bumper contact. Barnes now to the inside for second. McGargo trying to hold off the lines. Roethlisberger gets back alongside. Now contact. They all crash at the line. Who wins
the
it?
29. Roethlisberger got it.
Yes, indeed. It was a disqualification at the line. Coming up to it at least for Wade. He could have won it instead.
Wow, the number of drivers who got black flags from that. Unreal. Holston, Barnes, Kinzer, Wilson, and Wade all got DQ'd coming to the line. Or black flag coming to the line. Roethlisberger is going to win it tonight in his debut. Unreal.
So,
but remember,
what a finish.
He went below the line, potentially on the backstretch.
That could be huge.
Finish still unofficial. Second place at the moment is Brad Collier. And Sakata is in third.
I have no idea how this is going to get looked. It's unofficial. Race control just sent it. Stand by is now the call for who wins this race. So the 29, I don't know if Roethlisberger knows this yet. Very well could or could not be the one burning it out. Who would get it after that? Possibly Collier.
Collier would be the next one.
But he was one of those who cut under the yellow line too. But that was with the Holston contact.
Have to be Sakata then. Yeah, this could be anyone. While we wait for the official word, unofficial race results.
Again, unofficially, it looks like this. We'll get word in a moment or so. Roethlisberger, Collier, Sakata, currently the projected podium. Brumley, along with the 14 in the top 5. Shob, Robertson, Maupin got back to 8th after several slams. Richie Kime to 9th. Adam Holston, he still finished 10th after getting turned around.
That's right. Christian Barnes in 11th, Kinzer in 12th, Wilson 13th, Wade DQ'd to 14th spot, Fiffner 5 laps down at 15th with King in 16th, Young, Gasheri, Carpenter, and Gillen 17, 18, 19, and 20.
21st is Cochran. Daly amongst those well down the order, 63 down along with Gill, 71 for Lewis. Calkins was 72 down. Dankey was an early crash in the race, 78 down. Moyer was 80 laps down with John Ullman. 88 for Underhill. Baker was in 30th in the order.
31st tonight was Burke, then Marino, Good, Hinson, Taylor, and Miller round out your field here tonight.
What an end to this one. Again, back-to-back nights. Still unofficial. Still no burnout. And keep in mind, the error cards have already parked it down the order. Roethlisberger's the only one willing to see it. Can he light it up for the tires?
And this is an odd holding pattern. Just Not exactly sure if the pass on the backstretch was legal or not. Technical issues for race control, naturally. The mouse batteries died. Got to go wired. Always go wired when it's mission critical.
There's a reason I'm using a Dell mouse from 15 years ago.
I learned that the hard way. I had a trackball mouse when I first started doing production, and it died on me once, and it was not great. So, lesson to all of you people in production in the future. Wired mouse and wired keyboard for the win. Let's take a quick step aside here, JP, while we wait to see if we can get a victor.
Yes, indeed. We'll be back after this.
Real quick, you both stop the real quick touch. Double check the steering wheel.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Nice and smooth. Let's get it all done all day long. Got a good feeling about today, guys.
Donnie Kite's gonna get through it all and score his first career win in the Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series. What a finish!
Too little, too late from behind, and Sebastian Marin, your first repeat top split winner of the qualifying series.
We knew it was just a matter of time. Hunter Sr. is victorious.
Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa.
GC Spider Motorsports takes home the 1-2-3 finish.
As you can see, Sofa News Victory Lane has a decided driver. Zach Roppensberger is currently the winner of this one. Top 3 is still on standby, but the 29 unofficially has the win per race control. So Zach Roppensberger took a little celebration here, Morgan. He's already done.
That's all he needed. Just a little celebration for him, just a little one.
Top 3 is confirmed. Roethlisberger, Collier, Sakata is what's confirmed from race control. So let's talk with Zach down trackside. Zach, you're making the Sofa News Victory Lane here tonight. How are you feeling getting the job done tonight?
Definitely, you'll take wins when you can get them, right? But sure wasn't pretty there at the end, and you know, trying to, you know, just make sure we were there and you know, do the best we could. But yeah, you know, anytime you can win at anywhere, it's good, but especially Daytona for sure.
How do you feel about the efforts you showcased this week, though? Because in both races, you're in the conversation.
Yeah, I thought we did a good job of, you know, staying towards the front in both races and trying to control the side draft and you know, be somebody that could, you know, get to the front and stay there. So definitely happy with you know, second last night and first tonight.
So with that being said here, how big is this for you and your entire team to get yourselves on top here tonight in this car?
It's awesome. You know, we worked together all night, me and Christian in the 27, Zach in the 51, Elijah in the 66. Just really great group effort from us tonight. I think, you know, if you can win at Daytona, it's more, you know, an embody of a team effort than it is an individual in most cases, and that was certainly the case tonight.
Was that a quasi partnership with the Water Force machine?
Yeah, absolutely.
Gotcha. So anyone you want to give a shout out to here tonight?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to Ideal Racing, Corey Powell, who I got connected with this week and allowed me to drive the car and put me in the car. Thank you to him. Thank you to Major League Sim Racing, who's was on the car tonight. Thank you to all the sponsors for the team. Thank you to my teammates for again, all the great work all race long. Thank you to the admins for putting the league on and giving us a platform to race. Thank you for you guys as well for broadcasting and doing such a great job. Like you guys always do as well.
Congratulations on the effort tonight.
Yep, thanks guys.
One more thing before you go. Mailbag question for you. Your last name, it's familiar. You have any famous relatives?
Yeah, so if seventh cousins count, like I think
Hey,
our
close
fourth
enough.
great grandfathers are the same. So if that counts, then yes.
Boom, look at you go. Winner Daytona and a famous seventh cousin. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
Zach Roethlisberger coming away with the W, but Brad Collier is with Morgan. He's in second.
Brad, Morgan, and JP up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, it took a little while, but finally, Brad Collier meeting with us after the race. Wild one at Daytona in that nice blue 28 machine. I mean, what do you have to say about this race tonight?
It was wild. I was hoping we'd get out of all the cautions there and just run some green flags, but I was content pushing my teammate there to, first place win, but it didn't happen for him. But I'm happy for second. This is my first highest scoring ranking in this league, so I'm happy.
What do we have in the future for you? Started 27th today, finished second, no laps led, but pretty solid ending to this race for you. Does this give you some momentum, give you some positivity for the final 10 in the chase? Do we expect another great run starting at Watkins Glen next week?
Well, I'm not very good at road courses. I'm gonna tell you that right now, but I'm gonna keep this momentum going and see where it takes me.
All right, Brad Collier, second spot. Who do you want to thank? Who do you want to shout out for your best finish of your career?
Well, I want to give thanks out to Dave Billings there for giving me a chance to run one of his cars and keep that PMS lead going there.
Well, there you go. Thank you for your time, Brad. Congratulations on second position. We'll see you next time out.
Thank you.
Brad Collier, second spot tonight. Then it's a newcomer in the top three. Sakata got a top three. Oh. Obviously, they have something pressed to play music when they join, and bye-bye he goes.
Let's fix that real quick.
Yes. He's going to have to get that
All
sorted.
right, we're back.
Hello.
Okay.
Sorry, I forgot to take off my my entry sound there. My apologies.
What brings you to the league?
Well, I'll be honest. I've been wanting to run with you guys for quite some time. I've always enjoyed watching some Mystic racing, but I've never had the opportunity. And I got the call from Zach Davidson tonight that he was unable to run his car, and I was available to get in the seat for him. So it's an honor to get into the 01 Toyota for Mr. Davidson, and I feel like I did him proud tonight in my first ever Mystic Racing League with you guys. That was a fun run tonight.
Overall, what was kind of your approach to that final restart to try and get yourself through all the traffic?
I was working with Christian Barnes in the 27 for most of that run. I had just come off a pit road. I had over 3 minutes of damage from when I nosed it into the wall there with about 10 to go. And with the last two cautions, I was able to get all of that damage repaired. And with the green-white checkered, I was able to link up with Christian, and I was just trying to work with him. He and I are teammates in another league as well, and I was just trying to work with him so we could both do as well as possible and try to get those cars as far forward as we could with only 2 laps to go.
So what's the plan for more starts? Do you plan to make more appearances?
Eventually, I would love to run in this league full time. Unfortunately, I've had some prior obligations that prevented me from joining this league full time, but hopefully in the future, I'll be able to secure a more full-time position, and I would love to run a full season with you guys and test my mettle against your drivers. There's a heck of a fast lot out there for sure. That was a tough night. They fought for every single inch and centimeter.
Any shots you want to give here tonight?
Absolutely. Of course, Zach Davidson for the ride and letting me drive his set of wheels here this evening since he wasn't able to, and just for the opportunity to get into this league and test my mettle against you guys. And I told Christian before the race, I'm like, man, I said, I just want to come out here and, earn a little respect and show these guys I'm a good, clean, hard racer who just wants to do my best. And I feel like I really did that tonight. So I appreciate his ability to get in the car. And then, of course, Christian Barnes for helping me out and working with me all night long. Clayton Good was supposed to work with me too. He got wrecked out early, unfortunately, but he spotted for me all night. So those three in particular were a great asset all evening.
Congratulations on the effort.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Soji Sakata coming away with the top three. Morgan, your final thoughts on tonight? Because we like to think the top three were speakless, first of all, here on VSPEED. But second, that's the regular season tonight.
Yeah, it's all over. It's all over in the regular season. Our chase field is set. And I don't think it changed, actually, from when we came in this one. We'll look at that in just a second. But Watkins Glen, Darlington, Bristol, Old Atlanta, Fontana, the Roval, Kansas, Daga, Martinsville, and Homestead will provide quite a unique mix of racetracks to determine who the champion is going to be. And that champion is going to be one of the drivers who's lined up first to 16th position. Actually, Robertson might have got in tonight, actually. We'll have to check on that.
He picked up stage points. I think there's a good chance, actually, even though he missed so many races in a row. He was
I think he passed Zach White, so I think Robertson's in, White's out, would be my guess.
At the minimum.
Yeah, interesting. Crowder should be in as well. Marino Jr. certainly did not get enough points to make it in. Baum never showed up. Paz was already eliminated, so I believe that your field is going to be set in that way. So Hayes, Barnes, Wilson, Hinson, Gillen, Lewis, Brown, Bollinger, Good, Ullman, King, Cochran, Pfiffner, Crowder, Robertson, Time, I believe are the 16 that make it. But anyway, those are the drivers fighting for a championship, more than likely, when we get to Watkins Glen. And the rest of the chase starting next week.
It's going to be a fun time, to say the least, when we go to Watkins Glen. But it's time to say goodnight for this evening's coverage for the Slim Chickens Cup Series. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in for tonight's coverage. For my colleague in the booth, Morgan Cook, I'm Justin Prince saying thank you for tuning in for tonight's coverage here on VSPEED for the KT300. We'll see you next time when we go chase racing at the Glen.